And brought to you live via New York City, this is Bombers Game Mic. I'm Paul D, and tonight, the Philadelphia Phillies find themselves at Busch Stadium to take on the St. Louis Cardinals. A challenge by any measure, but we'll talk about the Phils more in a bit. That being said, yesterday, that 7-4 victory over the Rocks allowed the Cardinals to win their second series in a row. And that's something. And we're noticing this team beginning to play more loose, more smart, certainly more aggressive, and for the most part, generally more enjoyable. So let me give you the starting lineup for both clubs here. So the starting 9, that is. We'll start with the visiting Philadelphia Phillies. Leading off at first base is Schwarber. Batting second at third base is Stott. Batting third at DH is Bryce Harper. Batting cleanup at second base is Luis Arias, recently acquired from the San Francisco Giants. Batting fifth out in left field is Marsh. Batting sixth in right field is Hill. Batting seventh out in center field is Justin Crawford. Looks just like his dad, by the way. I'm going to talk more about that in a bit. Batting eighth at shortstop is Sosa. And batting ninth behind the dish is Stubbs. So those are the starting 9 for the Philadelphia Phillies. Now for the St. Louis Cardinals, leading off at second base, the NL rookie sensation himself, J.J. Weather. Oh boy, did he have a day yesterday. Batting second at DH is Ivan Herrera. Batting third at first base is Alec Burleson. So did he. Batting fourth out in right field is Jordan Alexander Walker. Batting fifth in center field is Nate Church. Batting sixth at shortstop is Mason Wynn. Batting seventh out in left field is Jose Fermin. Batting eighth behind the dish is Jimmy Crooks. And batting ninth at the hot corner is Cesar Prieto. Those are the starting 9 for both clubs. Now, in terms of the starting pitchers for this matchup, the Cardinals are sending out there the 26-year-old right-hander Hunter Dobbins. And boy, Hunter Dobbins has had a weird year, hasn't he? Most of that can be explained by him getting shuttled back and forth between St. Louis and AAA-Memphis. None of that having anything to do with his actual performance on the big league club, just out of roster necessity. But now that Dustin May has been dealt, he has very effectively picked up that slot in the rotation. In 8 games this year, Dobbins is 2-2 with a 3.60 ERA and 40 innings pitched exactly, 36 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.30. In his last outing against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, he went 6 1/3. He only gave up 2 home runs, both of which were solo jobs, and acquitted himself very, very well. The Cardinal bats couldn't put themselves together that night. This was this past Tuesday, and we know the story there. But no fault of him at all, to say the least. And starting for the Philadelphia Phillies tonight is the 23-year-old right-hander Andrew Painter, who has not had a great 2026. In 16 games this year, he's 1-8 with a 6.48 ERA, 75 innings pitched exactly, 63 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.57. And those aren't great numbers. Clearly, they're showing faith in him. They're keeping him up. But even in his last start against Miami, went 2 innings, gave up 6 earned. Not a great look, folks. Not a great look indeed. But with all that said and done, 5 minutes away here from scheduled first pitch. Join the Game Mic roll call. Let me know where y'all are watching or listening from. Hitting leadoff in the chat here tonight is Delta Leader. Good afternoon, everyone. Ever since the Derby, I've been looking forward to this. Let's go Cards. Alex, let's get a homer or 2 or 3 would be fine with me. Cheers to you, Delta. Philip. Paul G says, Nola says, hello, what's kicking and how are you? Philip, I am dandy. As dandy as I could hope to be. How are you? Ronald Lyle, Rod, I haven't seen you in a little while. I was thinking about you, hoping you're doing all right. Good evening, Cardinal fans. Let's get a winning streak going. Hit that like button. Let's get Paul D to 150. Thank you, Ronald. Cheers to the Green Mountain State Doge Bowl. It's baseball tonight with Paul and all. Actually, I kind of like that. Please hit the like on the way in. Thank you, Doge. Brother Joe. Good evening, chat. Good evening, Brother Joe. How are you? Let's hear your war cry. All right, let's see here. All right. Jeff Coleman. And Jeff Coleman with the one. Well, actually, several. 1, 2, 3. 3 separate $1 super chats. Thank you so much, Jeff. It's very much appreciated. I look forward to getting back into town and see what you sent me. When I get back, that is going to be my first item of business. Ron Lyle, fresh off vacation, back to work tonight. Need to hear the Cards win tonight. I think that's something we can all get on board with, Ron. Jeremiah, hi, Paul, and hi, chat. Hi, Jeremiah. How are you doing? The Happy Hodag. Let's go, Cardinals. Hope everything's going well up there in Green Bay, Hodag. All right, let's see here. What else? Alan, you're not on live video. Yeah, I know. I'm on the road. I'm going to be here for a week. I've mentioned this several times. This is the sacrifice I make to call these games when I'm not in the studio. It is a radio experience. I'll probably be back late sometime this upcoming weekend, and I'll keep you posted on that. But right now, it is all audio. I get to paint the picture for you in words, and that I am happy to do. And yeah, football is definitely starting. DJ Nick Fly. Howdy, Paul, from Sparta, Missouri. Cheers, Sparta, Missouri. CIAF Binta, Olney, Illinois. Cheers to Olney, Illinois. All right, let's see here. Hank the Tank, listening in from Idaho. Oh, that's a state I've always wanted to visit. The American West is almost intoxicating to me. I love it. Absolutely love it. And yeah, Alan Jordan hasn't been playing. I'm not 100% what's going on there because has nothing to do with production. He came off a great road trip. My guess is maybe he has some kind of nagging injury that they're trying to keep quiet, but I haven't seen too much of that. Speaking of football, I'll be getting my Packers fix on Thursday when the Cardinals have off. Well, I'll get back to that in a moment, Hodag. Jimmy, hi, Paul and everybody. Hey, Jimmy, how's it going? Chuck Gaiman, what's up? Paul, sup, chap? I can't speak for Chap, but I can definitely speak for myself, Chuck. I'm doing just fine. How are you? Yeah, as far as football goes, I mean, I'm happy as anybody to have it back. You know, the whole thing kind of comes around. You're like, okay, it's slowly coming back. And preseason football is fine, but the best way I've ever heard it described, it's like drinking non-alcoholic beer. And as soon as I heard that, I'm like, man, there is no way I can build on that description. But it's still nice to have it back. All right, y'all join the Game Mike roll call. Williams got his extension with the Cowboys. Love it. Yeah, I saw that earlier today. I was very happy about that. That trade is looking better all the time. So we are about less than a minute away from scheduled first pitch. Looks like the Redbirds have taken their field. They're wearing their traditional home white tops and bottoms with the red caps and the helmet and the white interlocking STL emblazoned on the front. And here is Hunter Dobbins, 2-2 with the 3.60 ERA, 14 walks against 36 strikeouts, a whip of 1.30 for Dobbins so far this year. He throws a four-seamer, a slider, a sweeper, a sinker, a split finger, and the occasional show-me curve. And he will be taking on this Philadelphia lineup. And one thing you have to say about Philadelphia is we know they're a very talented team. They're also an extremely streaky one. They lost 2 of 3 to Toronto this past weekend, and they've had periods where they have not been good, but they've also had periods where they have been red hot. So this is definitely a challenge for these Cardinals. And there's Donnie Baseball in the dugout, acting as skip there for the Phillies. Always good to see Don Mattingly. Now here comes the lefty first baseman, Kyle Schwarber, who is very demonstratively strutting into the box. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Yeah. Don Mattingly all smiles. Back onto the bump there. Or rather, initially onto the bump is Dobbins. So into the box is Schwarber. Onto the bump is Dobbins. Up to the microphone is yours truly. And the first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball outside corner thigh high. And we are underway. Kyle Schwarber hitting .247, 35 home runs, 68 RBIs in 113 games. The 0-1. Check swing on the four-seam upstairs. Third base umpire says no swing, and the count is 1-1. Schwarber gets back into the box. Coming winds, Dobbins, the pitch. Hit foul down the first base line and out of play. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. So I'd like to thank you all so much for spending your Monday night here Monday night here on Game Mike. It's a 1-2 count. Dobbins looking in. He winds the 1-2. A sweeper down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. That came in at 80 miles per hour. Clearly they're being very careful with Schwarber here. How could you not be? But that is the story we are dealing with here at the moment. Winds Dobbins, a 2-2 offering. A curveball down and away and out of the zone. The count is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. On deck is Stott, hitting .263. Dobbins takes a deep breath. Schwarber gets back into the box. Crooks puts in the command to the pitch comm. Dobbins winds, Dobbins deals. Ball 4 on the four-seam fastball in, so Kyle Schwarber works a leadoff walk here for Philadelphia. And the Phillies have a runner on first, nobody out. Defensive alignment for the Cardinals. Fermin in left, Church in center, Walker in right, Prieto at third, Winn at short, Weatherald at second, Burleson at first. Jimmy Crooks is behind the dish and battery mate to Hunter Dobbins, who's on the mound. In comes the lefty hitting Stott. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off first. From the stretch is Dobbins. The first pitch. He shows bunt, pulls back, and he gets a piece of that four-seam fastball in. And the count is 0-1. Bryson Stott's hitting .263, 8 home runs, 53 RBIs in 113 games, a .756 OPS. Kyle Schwarber leads off first. Back into the box is Stott. Setting at the Birds is Dobbins. The 0-1 offering. A splitter just a bit too high on the outer third ruled a ball. The count is 1-1. Infield defense definitely shaded towards right with the lefty Stott, but modified for the runner at first with less than 2 outs. Setting up inside is Crooks. The 1-1. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 1-2. So Dobbins so far has been showing himself to get into advantageous counts. Really the question here is, what is his ability to put them fully away? That is what we have not yet seen. Though we've seen it from time to time this year. He sets at the Birds. He deals. A curveball down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. It's interesting here. Both on Schwarber and Stott, they've been trying to get them to go offering on curveballs down and away, and they have not yet even flinched at one. It's an interesting approach there. Dobbins looking in, coming, set at the Birds. Runner leads off first, nobody out. Top of the first inning, no score. The 2-2. Swinging strike 3. Down, hack and go, Stott. For the first out of the inning. There's the curveball that came out for the first time that they went after. And a very nice one at that by Dobbins. Had some great horizontal and vertical action on it. Stott swung over the right of the top of that thing, going down and away. Now here's Bryce Harper, who needs no introduction. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner on first with one out, top of the first. The first pitch to Harper. Uncle Charlie strike right down Broadway. The count is 0-1. Bryce Harper this year in 119 games, hitting .255, 25 home runs, 71 RBIs, and .870 OPS. Coming set at the letters. And the Birds is Dobbins. Runner leads. The 0-1. A splitter up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Bryce Harper is a guy who obviously needs no introduction. And I have an interesting story about him from my own experiences that I'll share here shortly. Dobbins sets the 1-1. A splitter well upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. I was in the crowd to see his first career home run at Nationals Park back in May of 2012. I saw the very first one. It was against the Padres. It was to dead center. Quite an experience. We knew he'd be great then. Dobbins sets the 2-1 to Harper. A four-seam fastball away and out of the zone. The count is 3-1. It's very clear that Crooks and Dobbins here are handling Bryce Harper very carefully, and they are very wise to do so. Schwarber leads off first with 1 out. It's a 3-1 count. Top of the first inning, no score. He sets at the Birds, the 3-1. Strike, sweeper on the outside corner by about the knees. The count is 3-2. So it's a 3-2 count here to Bryce Harper. Luis Arias is on deck, recently acquired from San Francisco. He sets at the Birds, a 3-2. Ball 4 on the four-seam fastball up and away. So Bryce Harper works a 1-out walk, and that puts runners on first and second with 1 out for the Phillies here in the top of the first inning. There is no score. Now here is Luis Arias, and he's in the cleanup hole tonight, which is an interesting choice because as much as he is very capable to hit for average, he hits for virtually no power at all, despite the fact that he has 48 RBIs, 5 home runs, a .320 average so far. Runners lead off first and second. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Arias. A four-seam fastball down and in, 93 miles an hour to the right hand of Dobbins. The count is 1-0. A decent crowd at Busch tonight. It could be a little better, I would think. 18 pitches so far for Dobbins. He sets at the Birds. The 1-0. A four-seam fastball on the inner third ruled low. And the count is 2-0. That was a very close pitch. So Dobbins climbs back up once again with the lefty there. Infield defense very much shaded towards right in the modified double play depth with runners at first and second. The pitch. Strike. Slider just whispers over the black of the outside corner thigh high. And the count is 2-1. Luis Arias second in the league in terms of average. Right behind Alvarez down in Houston. Dobbins sets the 2-1. A slider away ruled a ball. The count is 3-1. This is a very tight zone tonight so far. Yesterday, it was a very loose zone for most of that game, so we're dealing with the complete opposite here. It's a 3-1 count. Dobbins sets the 3-1. Hit foul down the first base side and out of play, and the count is full, 3-2. So long at bats here. That was the 22nd pitch tonight by Dobbins. They are certainly making him work, is what you'd expect from a veteran-laden club that knows how to score runs. Arias is back into the box. Runners lead off first and second. Top of the first inning, no score. There's 1 out. Dobbins comes set at the Birds. Now the 3-2. Hit to the right side. Picked up by Burleson, who tries to put the tag there on Harper at first. He throws it down to second to get Schwarber kind to go far from the bag, but both of them get back. And so in that case, I believe that is a line-out 3 off the bat of Arias, considering the fact that both Harper and Schwarber had to get back for the second out of the inning. Let's see on the replay here. Yeah, Alec caught it, but Harper got back to the bag before he was able to put any sort of tag on him, as far as I can... Oh, boy. I don't know about that. That might need to be reviewed. Looks like he might have gotten him on the left hand, and it is under review. And, guys, I think Bryce Harper might be out at first base. We may be looking at an exactly 3 double play. Stand by on this one. So we're going to the off-site replay center. Looks like NASA Mission Control, but better funded. So let's see what we have here. Everybody's looking up at the big board. And I do mean everybody. This one's going to be close. He might have gotten him on the left hand before his foot got back. Harper, Burleson placing the tag. Harper trying to go back to first on the line out. And, yeah, they're even showing the big one up there. I don't know if anybody is entirely sure yet what's going on. We're going to have to wait for the off-site replay center, guys. The broadcast has only shown us one replay, and nothing terribly conclusive from my perspective. It is going to be very close. So we await the judgment of the off-site replay center. Here, we finally got one. Oh boy, I think he might be out. He may very well be out. Based on the angle that I've seen, which is say his heel was on the dirt, but the front of his foot hadn't come down on it yet when the tag was applied. At least that's my interpretation of what I have seen. But it's the only angle I've seen. And he is out at first. A double play, a 3 double play to end the inning. No runs, no hits, 2 walks, 1 left on. After 1/2 inning of play, it is the Philadelphia Phillies nothing and the St. Louis Cardinals coming to bat. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Let's get to that chat. Okay. Let's go. Way to make a sweet Dobby. Yeah, to sweat Dobby. All right. By Harper indeed. Very, very good stuff. David Hodge, great job, Cardinals. Oh, you know it. You know it. All right, y'all. Let's get some runs. Please find that like button on your cell phone or mobile device, please. And thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Trent Fable, let's go. And not a moment too soon. Brother Joe, doing a fantastic job tonight, Paul. Well, thank you, Brother Joe. Thurman, how about another game today just like yesterday? I'm not going to say I wouldn't want that, Thurman. It's good to see ya. Roger Bassman, the Game Mic correspondent, reporting in from the surface of the sun. How are you, Roger? All right. Let's see here. So, an interesting first inning for Hunter Dobbins. He definitely had to work, but he gets out of it on that Luis Arias lineout, and Harper got tagged out before he could get back to the bag. And now they're going to face Andrew Painter, the right-hander. So it'll be a righty-lefty matchup here against Weatherall. Weatherall, Herrera, Burleson, and if they get to him, Jordan Walker in the 4-hole. Andrew Painter this year, 1-8 with a 6.48 ERA, 28 walks against 63 strikeouts, a whip of 1.57. He throws mostly a 4-seamer, a slider, a sweeper, a split finger, a sinker, and a show-me curve. But a lot of it are the first 3. Now, here's J.J. Weatherall winding his Painter, the first pitch. A 4-seam fastball strike, inner third about thigh high, and the count is 0-1. Hey, Nick is back, the 0-1. Strike, sweeper down Broadway below the belt. The count is 0-2. JJ is hitting .249 so far. Had a great day yesterday. Definitely the MVP of that affair. He gets back into the box. Painter winds, the 0-2. Foul tipped on the changeup away, so J.J. Weatherall there just spoiling that one off. And the count remains no balls and 2 strikes. J.J.'s hitting .249, 16 home runs, 45 RBIs in 112 games. Painter looks in and winds, the 0-2. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play on the changeup away. So he's spoiled a couple of tough changeups here so far, has Weatherall. Scott Reed, Biloxi, ... Go Cardinals. Good to see it, Scott Reed. He winds, the 0-2. Swinging strike 3, swinging over the top of that sweeper, down and in. Down goes hacking his Weatherall, and that is the first out of the inning. Striking out is not something we see too much of him. He's gotten very good about that. Now, here is Ivan Herrera in the 2-hole. He's tonight's DH. It's a righty-righty matchup with nobody on, 1 out, bottom of the first inning, no score. Painter winds and deals. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball away. The count is 0-1. That came in at 98 miles an hour. Herrera's hitting .250 with 13 home runs, 50 RBIs in 117 games, a .752 OPS. Big wide-open stance. Winding is Painter, the 0-1 offering. A slider down and away and over the lefty batter's box. The count is 1-1. Herrera has definitely been getting back into the groove over the last 2 weeks. We have seen it in evidence many times so far. Painter looks in, comes wide, the 1-1. Swinging strike on the slider down and away, and the count is 1-2. The Phillies are definitely a challenge by which to measure oneself if you're the Cardinals. The 1-2. There's a fly ball out to left field. Going back is the left fielder in front of the wall. He makes the catch, does Brandon Marsh, for the second out of the inning. So Ivan Herrera sends that one for a ride out into left field. Phillies defensive alignment: Marsh in left, Crawford in center, Hill in right, Stott at third, Sosa at short, Araya is at second, Schwarber at first, Stubbs is behind the dish, and battery mate to Andrew Painter, who's on the mound. That's your defensive alignment for the Phillies. Now here comes Alec Burleson. It's a righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch, a four-seam fastball outside, and the count is 1-0. Paul D, how things going, brother? I'm doing all right. Nick, how are you? Burley's hitting .283, the 1-0 offering. Hit foul down the first base side, now to play on the changeup. And the count is 1-1. All right. Coming wide is Painter. He deals. A four-seam fastball up and away, and the count is 2-1. Burley has really been turning it on over the last couple of weeks. Like many of the Cardinal bats, really. Back onto the bump is Painter. Infield defense very much shaded towards right with the lefty Burleson. Now the 2-1 offering. A four-seam fastball away, just misses the outside corner. It's ruled a ball. The count is 3-1. I'm doing okay, Roger. I'm really happy to be here, and it's good to see you. Now, the 3-1 offering. Swinging strike on the changeup, down and in. Swinging over the top of that one was Alec. The count is 3-2. Nobody on, 2 out. Bottom of the first inning, no score between the Phillies and Cardinals here for the first of 3 at Busch this week. Now the 3-2 pitch. Check swing on the curveball, down and in. Did he go around? No, says Blue down the third baseline. So Alec Burleson manages to check his swing on that breaking ball down and in. He works a 2-out walk, and the Cardinals have a runner on first with 2 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Now here is Jordan Alexander Walker. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. He seems to be coming through whatever he was dealing with that knee inflammation. 9-game hitting streak, currently hitting .310 in that span. From the stretch is Painter. The first pitch to Jordan Walker. Swinging strike on the sweeper on the outside corner. The count is 0-1. He's hitting .285 with 23 home runs, 83 RBIs in 114 games, and .834 OPS. Runner leads off first with 2 out. Coming set at the letters is Painter, the 0-1. A four-seam fastball down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Painter comes set at the letters. He deals. Chop foul down the third base line and out of play. Jordan Walker went down to try to get a sweeper down and away. Just got a piece of that thing, and the count is 1-2. That's still the bugaboo in his swing. That it seems like he's been pulling off even pitches that are over the plate, which is a little odd. Obviously not to his detriment. He has a 9-game hitting streak going. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. Everybody take a drink. Next will be Painter's 19th so far in terms of pitches. He sets the 1-2. A sinker down and away. Checking his swing there is Walker. The count is even at 2-2. Jordan Walker has obviously not gotten his power back together post-home run derby, but he has been representative in many situations. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup right down Broadway for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left on. After 1 full inning of play, it is scoreless going to the top of the second inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go back to the chat. Jordan at 285, not disappointing me at all. No, he's been quite good. I get the feeling that he's harboring some kind of nagging injury, Roger, because he had a great road trip. I think he got 7 hits on that road trip, if you can believe it. And he also is one of those guys that kind of has the clutch gene. I guess is the best way I can put it. And his defensive work down at third, even though there have been moments, has been actually pretty steady. He's even able to substitute over there at first when they need to give Burleson a day. Walker is pressing. You may very well be right, David, especially on the power stuff. Nick, 52 likes, 187 people watching. Hit that like button, everybody. Yeah, thank you so much, Nick. All right. So due up for the Redbirds for the Phillies in the top of the second inning. Marsh, Hill, and Crawford. Now we got to talk a moment here about Justin Crawford. Everybody here is in all likelihood, so long as you are alive to watch it, familiar with Carl Crawford, the legend of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, then turned Rays. This is his son, Justin. And man, it is like they cloned him right from his dad. They could, if you look at him at that age and put him up against a picture next to his dad at the same age, you would swear they were twins or there was a clone. I mean, he is just a spitting image of the old man. It's actually really interesting. All right, we're back here for the top of the second inning. No score. Hunter Dobbins out there for his second frame. He is going to be facing Brandon Marsh, hitting .274 this year. Now, the first pitch from Dobbins. A four-seam fastball down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. It's a righty-lefty matchup. A lot of camera attention there to Donnie Baseball on the top step. Now he winds the 1-0. Hit to the right side and into right field for a leadoff single by Brandon Marsh. And the Phillies have a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the second inning. So a nice bit of hitting there. It was right out over the plate. I believe it was on the inner third. It was up. There's really no surprise there. 25 pitches so far for Dobbins. Paul D, I'm doing good. Nothing too big to complain about. I'm glad to hear it, Nick. Now here's the righty, Hill. He's in the 6-hole tonight. Righty-righty matchup. Runner leads off first. The first pitch to Hill. A slider upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. 26 pitches here for Dobbins. And obviously, they worked him very well in the top of the first inning, and no doubt that is their approach here as well. Marsh leads off first with nobody out. Coming set at the Birds is Dobbins. The 1-0 offering. Fouled straight back in the four-seam fastball up and in. 93 miles an hour out of the right hand of Dobbins. The count is 1-1. Martin Greenwell. Good evening, Paul. Go Cards from Louisville, Kentucky. Cheers to Louisville. Back into the box is Hill. He's in .239 this year. Dobbins from the stretch sets at the Birds. And time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Hill. Dobbins was halfway through his motion. Didn't realize time had been called just before he was supposed to release the thing. Dusty Blake there, the pitching coach, definitely is giving a quizzical look to the home plate umpire. Who can blame him after watching that? Hill gets back into the box. Marsh leads off first with nobody out. Coming set is Dobbins. He sets at the Birds and deals. Head on up the middle, picked up on a hop by Dobbins. He throws to first, and it's over Burleson's head, and it goes all the way to the tarp. Coming around third, coming home is Marsh. Picking it up out there is Burleson. Marsh will score, and that will give the Phillies a 1-0 lead on a terrible throwing error there by Dobbins. Getting all the way to third over there is Hill. Oh my goodness, a very, very bad defensive miscue there on the part of Dobbins. The thing was basically chopped probably 20 feet after hitting right in front of home plate. When it came down to Dobbins, he had no chance at the runner at second, but he turned and threw to Burleson. He had plenty of time and then just threw it way over his head. The runner got to third on the play, and Brandon Marsh scored all the way from first. 1-0 Phillies. Now here is Justin Crawford, the first pitch. Strike, slider on the outside corner at the knees. The count is 0-1. Runner on third with nobody out. One already in for the Phillies. They have a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second inning. The infield defense for the Cardinals playing even with the bag right up against the lip of the grass. The 0-1. Foul down the third base side and out of play on the four-seam fastball in. The count is 0-1. Justin Crawford hitting .266, 2 home runs, 30 RBIs in 109 games at .670 OPS. Hill leads off first with nobody out. It's an 0-2 count. Come in, set is Dobbins, the 0-2. A splitter away, clearly a ball. The count is 1-2. Yeah, spitting image of his dad. My goodness. It's something to behold. Runner leads off third. From the stretch is Dobbins, 1-2. Did he go around? Dropped by Crooks, who throws it over to first base to secure the strikeout for the first out of the inning. So they got him on a check swing on a breaking ball down and in. It was initially had to be blocked by Crooks because it was in the dirt, but he threw down to first. Hill stayed right there at third. So there is a runner on third with one out. Now the Cardinal infield defense is coming even further in. Facing the shortstop Sosa, the 8-hitter. He's hitting .210. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. A curveball well inside, and the count is 1-0. Dobbins trying to keep his composure here. A very, very frantic inning so far. He sets at the Birds, the 1-0. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway, right at the belt. The count is 1-1. Had Sosa chosen to challenge that, it most certainly would have gotten overturned, but nobody's doing it. Next pitch is Dobbins' 35th here, and 1 1/3. Now the 1-1 offering. Head out there into left field, in for a base hit. Scoring easily from third is Hill, and Philadelphia has a 2-0 lead on the RBI single to left by Sosa. It's a 2-0 Philadelphia lead. They have a runner on first with one out. Now here comes the 9-hitter, the catcher Stubbs, or Stubs, I should say. And that was a very hittable pitch. It was basically down and into the righty there. Turned on it quite quickly. So 2 already in here for Philadelphia. They have a 2-0 lead in the top of the second inning. Now the lefty hitting catcher Stubbs, or Stubs, I should say, hitting one hit to the right side and foul down the first base side of the four-seam fastball. The count is 1-1. Stubs get back into the box. It's a 1-1 count. Dobbins sets the pitch. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. So Dobbins is trying to reduce the damage here. His level best at that. He sets. Throw it over to first. Back in time with the head first slide is Sosa. The count remains 1-2. I'm going to put back my rally squirrel, put on my rally squirrel hat. Good going, Kokoda. Good to see you again. The 1-2. Swinging strike 3 on the Uncle Charlie away for the second out of the inning. So Stubs goes down hacking there on a pretty nasty Uncle Charlie at that. Had he not swung, it most certainly would have been called strike 3. It was about thigh high. Now back to the top of the order with Kyle Schwarber. Led off this game with a walk. Runner on first with 2 out. 2 already in. It's a 2-0 Phillies lead in the top of the second inning. Come and set. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch to Schwarber. A curveball down and in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. 35 home runs so far this year for Kyle Schwarber. A force in the NL East. Dobbins sets at the stretch. The pitch. A four-seam fastball well upstairs. The count is 2-0. They came in at 93 miles an hour. Schwarber looking down for the sign from his third base coach. Gets back into the box. Runner leads off first with 2 outs. A 2-0 count. Come and set is Dobbins at the Birds. The pitch. A slider away ruled a ball. The count is 3-0. It's a 3-0 count here. Will Schwarber go into statue mode? We'll see. Crook sets up away. The 3-0. Strike. Four-seam fastball down Broadway at the knees. The count is 3-1. So statue mode it was. Schwarber gets back into the saddle. 43 pitches here for Dobbins. Phillies have a 2-0 lead. Come in set. The 3-1. Ball 4, but it's being challenged by Jimmy Crooks, and I hate to say it, I don't think it's going to be a strike. But we're going to find out. And indeed, the call is confirmed. It is ball 4, and it missed by nothing, less than 0.1 inches. So not as bad a challenge as I thought initially, but it is indeed a ball. So a 2-out walk for Schwarber, and the Phillies have runners on first and second with 2 out here in the top of the second inning. They have a 2-0 lead, 2 in here in the top of the second. Now here comes the third baseman, Stott. Righty-lefty matchup, 44 pitches at this point. Runners lead, the first pitch. Strike, sweeper on the outside corner. The count is 0-1. Stott is 0 for 1 here tonight. He struck out earlier against Dobbins. Dobbins comes set. Runners lead. As he holds, now deals. A splitter away, clear a ball. The count is 1-1. So these Philadelphia bats are doing very good veteran work at working Hunter Dobbins. That's pretty much anything you'd want to see if it's your team. He comes set. The 1-1 offering. Fouled back on the slider upstairs and away, and the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Infield defense very much shaded towards right with the lefty Stott. Prieto is much, much closer to third than the Cardinals usually play these situations, but that has everything to do with the runner at second. Now, come in set is Dobbins. The 1-2 to Stott. Foul tip, just got a piece of that curveball down and in. One thing that we're seeing here is that Dobbins does seem to have a lot of confidence in his breaking stuff. He definitely goes to it when he feels he needs a swing and miss. And this would be one of those situations where he really needs a swing and miss. He sets at the Birds. Now the 1-2. Fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball up and in. 94 miles an hour there to Stott. The count remains 1-2. And one heck of a catch by a small Cardinal, a kid Cardinal fan behind home plate. That kid is absolutely elated. Oh boy. Even I'm envious of that. Back into the saddle is Stott. Looking in is Dobbins. Runners lead off first and second with 2 out. 2-0 Phillies. He comes set. The 1-2 pitch. A slider up and away. A clear ball. The count is even at 2-2. That was the 50th pitch for Dobbins here. At this rate, he will not be long for this ball game. Now, Dobbins comes set. And the 2-2 offering. Hit out there into left field. Underneath it is Fermin. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. However, the Phillies, they put 2 across on a critical fielding error and an RBI single to left. So 2 runs and 2 left on. After 1.5 innings of play, it is 2-0 Philadelphia going to the bottom of the second inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's get back to that chat. Okay. Ron Lyle, congrats on 1,300, Paul. We made it. Thank whoever are the special 3 that hit that button. You have my personal gratitude, and I have only to say, welcome aboard. It's good to have you. Harold, good to see you, Harold. One of our recent AAA stud pitchers just went down. Has to get Tommy John. I heard a little something about that. But really? I know last night, both of the main pieces they had gotten from, I want to say, well, from both big trades, I think had a very good night. Haven't heard anything about the Tommy John yet, but I'm going to have to look further into that. But Dobbins' miss is why the Phillies are winning, not their batting. Well, yeah, I understand that, David, but any good team takes advantage of the opportunities that are given to them. And the fact of the matter is, over 2 innings pitched here, Dobbins has had to throw 50 pitches. I mean, that's an offense that does seem to be effective enough at this point. That, and of course, the second run in that inning was on an RBI single to left center. So, credit where credit is due. All right, due up for the Redbirds. Here in the bottom of the second inning, Nate Church, Mason Wynn, and Jose Fermin. 5, 6, 7 in the order. Is it really 2? Because I could have sworn Hill got on not due to error, which means that he would be an earned run. So one of the 2 is unearned. Even though, oddly enough, he's the one who caused it. The first pitch. Strike, outside corner, four-seam fastball there from Painter. The count is 0-1. And it looks like Darryl Strawberry's in the audience tonight. There's a rando one there for you. The 0-1 from Painter. A changeup down and in, nowhere near the zone. The count is 1-1. I'd know that mug anywhere. I remember the straw man very, very fondly. Painter looks in, comes one. The 1-1. A changeup upstairs, ruled a ball. The count is 2-1. Nate Church is hitting .238, 9 home runs, 37 RBIs in 99 games. It's a 2-0 Phillies lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Coming winds, Painter, the 2-1. Swinging strike on the sweeper in. The count is 2-2. ZZ Captain Massive, I am doing just fine. How are you? C. John, howdy Paul D/JB/Cardination. So the Phillies at the top of the wild card race. They're certainly in it. Looking in is Painter. He comes motion. The 2-2 to Church. Hit down the right field line. Slicing foul on the sweeper. The count remains 2-2. Andrew Painter looks in. He winds. He deals. Hit down the left field line, giving chases pretty much everybody on the left side. It goes about a dozen rows deep into the stands. The count remains 2-2. 75 likes, 175 people watching. Hit that like button, everybody. Listen to Nick/4Life. He knows the way. Back into the saddle is Nate Church. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the second inning, 2-0 Phillies. Stoops sets outside. The 2-2. Hit to the left side. Picked up there at short by Sosa. He throws to first just in time to get Nate Church by a step for the first out of the inning. So Nate Church grounds out 6-3 for the first out. And here's the righty hitting shortstop for St. Louis, Mason Wynn. It'll be a righty-righty matchup with nobody on and one out. Bottom of the second inning, 2-0 Phillies. 27 pitches so far for Andrew Painter. Mason Wynn is hitting .242, 4 home runs, 47 RBIs in 110 games, a .642 OPS. Common winds, Painter, the first pitch. A four-seam fastball down and away. The count is 1-0. CH, man, it's good to see you. Yeah, I'm going to be replying to your email after the game tonight. The 1-0. A four-seam fastball down and in. The count is 2-0. I really do appreciate the timely response, CH, man. And I look forward to to corresponding with you at the very least. Just some things I want to bounce off you I think you might find interesting. Back into the saddle is Win. Come and wind is Painter, the 2-0. A sweeper down and away on the outside corner about knee high. It's ruled a ball, but challenged immediately there by Stubbs. So we have an ABS challenge incoming. And the call is overturned, and it's indeed a strike, and the count is 2-1. So a successful challenge there by Stubbs, and the count is 2-1. Nobody on with one out. Mason went back into the saddle. Painter looking in. Here comes motion. The pitch. There's a fly ball out to shallow right field, just beyond the lip of the grass. Making the catch is Arias for the second out of the inning. I think that might be ruled a fly out, but it definitely was more of a pop out. That's the second out of the inning. And here comes Jose Fermin with nobody on and 2 outs here at the bottom of the second. 2-0 Philadelphia. 31 pitches here for Andrew Painter. Now here's Jose Fermin. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch to Jose. A sinker down and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Fermin's hitting .240 with 5 home runs, 26 RBIs in 81 games, a .667 OPS. Been doing very fine work for the Cardinals. Has become basically an everyday player. The 1-0. A sweeper away, ruled a ball. The count is 2-0. Now he winds the 2-0 offering. There's a fly ball out in the center field. Underneath it is the center fielder. He makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 2 full innings of play, it is 2-0 Philadelphia going to the top of the third inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike tonight, you haven't already done so, but you feel I've earned it, please do leave a like. It's helping this growing channel continue to grow. Get out there to more Cardinals fans who need all the help they can get right now following this team every day, in addition to having my eternal gratitude. And if you like what you see and hear, and it's your first time here, or maybe you've been back multiple times, but you're not subscribed, well, hit subscribe. We'd love to have you. With that said, 2-0 Phillies going top of 3. Let's go back to the chat. 82 likes, 198 people watching. Don't forget to hit that like. For life, doing for life things, no doubt. And speaking of doing things, Justin Beasley on the score bug tonight. The master in charge of the graphic. The most important graphic on the screen. Give him a solid round of applause out there because he more than earned it many times over. Zeke hitting that like button because I like the broadcast. Well, thank you, Zeke. Harold, what have you heard about Gorman being called back up? Anything? So I know he's had a very strong stretch over like the last couple of weeks. I guess it maybe depends on what's happening with Blaze Jordan. I don't know anything about an injury there. But at the moment, the thing that's interesting is that there's a serious logjam because in that case, say that Nolan Gorman is fixed. You now have 2 quality options at the hot corner. Blaze Jordan certainly has done nothing to get demoted. We'll see. I mean, that's really one of those things, Harold, where we go back and we see. Corey, evening, everybody. Happy Monday. And a very happy Monday to you, Corey. You're always welcome here. It's always great to see you. Now, Dobbins back out for his third frame. And the first pitch to Harper. A 4-seam fastball in. The count is 1-0. Top of the third inning, 2-0 Phillies. Both of their runs coming in the top of the second inning. One on a throwing error. And the other on an RBI single to left. The 1-0. A splitter away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. Bryce Harper, 255, 25 home runs, 71 RBIs. He winds the 2-0. Strike, slider on the inside corner, thigh high, and the count is 2-1. Bryce Harper walked in his first plate appearance. Dobbins comes motion, the 2-1. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play on the Uncle Charlie. The count is 2-2. Dobbins looking in. Crook sets up away. The 2-2. Swinging strike three. Down, hacking goes Bryce Harper for the first out of the inning. To me, that looked like perhaps a changeup that stayed upstairs, maybe. Whatever the case is, Bryce Harper swings and misses for the first out. Now here is Luis Arias, who's 0 for 1. The first pitch. A slider away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Of course, Arias in his last at-bat lined into a double play 3. Nobody on with 1 out. Coming winds, Dobbins, the 1-0. Strike, slider on the inner third above the knees. The count is 1-1 to Arias. Infield defense heavily shaded towards right against the left-hand hitter Arias. Coming one, the 1-1. Foul down the left field line and out of play on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 1-2. Next pitch is going to be Hunter Dobbins' 60th. They have definitely made him work overtime. Dobbins looks into Crooks and motions. The 1-2. Hit foul down the first base line and out of play on the sweeper down and in. The count is 1-2. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Arias. And the interesting thing on the spray chart there, they're showing it up on the big board at Busch. They have him shifted. The splitter up and away is ruled a ball. The count is 2-2. Despite the fact he very clearly hits to all fields. The spray chart is absolutely undeniable. Don't know what the thinking is there. Now, the 2-2 pitch. A sinker down and in, jackknifing out of the way. There is Arias, and the count is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, yeah, that one was not pretty. Arias actually did a pretty good job there. He fell, caught himself with his first 2 hands, then did a couple of push-ups back on the way up. That's style. Looking in is Dobbins. He winds a 3-2 offering. Foul, oh, hit out there into left field, giving chase. And catching it is Fermin on the left field line next to the stands for the second out of the inning. Right off the bat there, it looked like it was going straight into the stands. But when you saw Arias look up, and he had the same expression initially, like, oh, that's a foul ball. He looked out at it like, oh, crap, that's gonna come down in the field. And then he started moving. Now here's Brandon Marsh. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Strike. Uncle Charlie inner third above the knees. 78 miles an hour. The count is 0-1. Marsh is 1 for 1. Dobbins from the full one. The 0-1. A splitter away and out of the zone. The count is 1-1. Harper overrated. Oh, that's spicy. Now the 1-1. A sweeper away. Clearly a ball. The count is 2-1. It's actually over the righty batter's box. And Marsh here has what can only be described as either a mountain man or a philosopher's beard. It is huge. Now the 2-1. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play on the four-seam fastball down and in. Jimmy Crooks was actually setting up away on that. And the count is 2-2. Dobbins looking in, shakes off Crooks a couple of times. He has his pitch. Now the 2-2. Swinging strike three. Down flailing goes Marsh for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 2.5 innings of play, it is 2-0 Philadelphia going to the bottom of the third inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mic. Let's go back to that chat. Whistle time indeed. We got a couple of them. Brandon Marsh, Bryce Harper, Best inning tonight so far for Dobbins, no doubt. The beautiful whistle again. 92 likes, 204 people watching. Hit that like. Follow for life. He knows the way. Maybe I'm just not a fan of his. I liked him when he first came into the league. Okay, Harper overrated. I personally don't see it that way, Darren. I mean, he's been very good, especially when healthy. He's a gamer. You know, he's had his issues as any player does, but, you know, is Philadelphia regretting having signed him to that huge contract? I don't think so. Because that's really what it comes down to, right? The thing with Bryce Harper is this. Early on in his career, he kind of came off as a jerk, right? He was in everybody's face. He was really cocky, the whole thing. And my observation has been this. He's definitely matured. You know, he's in his early 30s now. He's not quite the same guy he was. And I've actually gained more respect for him over time because of that. He's an intense player, never get me wrong on that. But he's not as brash. He's not as cocky as he once was. Or at the very least, he's doing a much better job at hiding it. Now we're back for the bottom of the third inning. 2-0 Phillies. Due up for the Redbirds. Crooks, Prieto, and Weatherall. So 8, 9, and 1 in the Redbird order. It's a 2-0 Philadelphia lead. Painter's back out into the bump for his third frame. Time is briefly granted to Jimmy Crooks by the umpire at Crooks' behest. 34 pitches for Painter. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the third inning. 2-0 Philadelphia. Common winds. Painter, the first pitch. A four-seam fastball inside ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Now, the 1-0 offering. Head on up the middle. Picked up by Painter on a hop. Throws over towards first. In time to get Jimmy Crooks for the first out of the inning. So Jimmy Crooks bounces out 1-3 for the first out here in the bottom of the third inning. And here comes Cesar Prieto, who has been quiet but steady, certainly defensively. And that's really what the Cardinals needed from him. The left-hand hitter. Righty-lefty matchup. Common winds, Painter, the first pitch. Foul behind home plate on the four-seam fastball upstairs. 97 miles an hour to the right hand of Andrew Painter. The count is 0-1. Hello, Paul. My subscribers wanted me to have this name. Hi, Max. If that's the way you want to go. Setting up inside is Stubbs. Here's the pitch. Hit down the left field line and slicing. Foul on the sweeper. The count is 0-2. Charlie Acosta. Non-alcoholic beers are for non-alcoholics. Everybody. Charlie and Encinitas here. Paul D. Paint that picture you always do. It's kind of like paint the plate. Yes, it is. Here's the 0-2 count. Common wine, Painter, the 0-2. Hit to the right side. Picked up by Schwarber on hop. Tossed to Painter, covering in time for the second out of the inning. So Prieto bounces out 3-1 for the second out. You know, Encinitas, California. Interesting little note there, Charlie. So, a little over a year ago, Mrs. Game Mike and I were doing a California road trip. Not like across the country, like in California. We started in San Diego, went back up to San Francisco, and came back. Now, here's J.J. Weatherall. He's 0-1. The first pitch from Painter. A sinker down and in, ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Weatherall's 0-1. And I lost my Apple Watch. And then 6 months later, get to the rest, the 1-0 pitch. A changeup down and in and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. I get an alert from my Find My app on my iPhone that geolocated my Apple Watch to Encinitas, California. I even saw the address. I bricked it so that they couldn't use it ever again. And there's a message there, should they want to be good Samaritans. They did not. That's my Encinitas story. Now, the 2-0 from Painter. A changeup well up and away and out of the zone. The count is 3-0. Nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the third inning. 2-0 Philadelphia. It's a 3-0 count here to J.J. Weatherall. Struck out in his first at-bat. Now, the 3-0 pitch. Strike. Four-seam fastball down Broadway right at the belt. The count is 3-1. Now the 3-1. Hit out there into left field. Going back is Marsh on the warning track. Up against the wall. Makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 3 full innings of play, it is 2-0 Philadelphia going to the top of the 4th inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Back to the chat. Crud. Yeah, Harold, it was. That thing actually carried more than I thought it would. Is that Lance Painter's kid? Honestly, Roger, I'm not 100% sure. 95 likes, 280 people watching it. That like, listen to for life. Prieto still batting. 000. Why is he in the lineup? Well, he doesn't actually have that much major league experience, Justin. You look at the numbers, you're like, okay, this is a dude just, who's gotten a cup of coffee previously. Darren, I like Schwarber, but I'm a Cubs fan, so I'm biased. That's fair enough. An overrated Philly player when he gets booed. Well done, Roger. Well done. Jameson Tyone hurt again. Ouch. Yeah, when he's right, he can be very good. I remember his years with the Yankees. He's had a tough year this year. So due up for the Phillies in the top of the 4th inning. Hill, Crawford, and Sosa. 6, 7, and 8 in the Philly order. Hunter Dobbins will be out there for his 4th frame. He's really got to start becoming a bit more economical here, or he's going to be out of this game very soon. And boy, a lot of ESPN and CW sports commercials here on MLB, well, Cardinal.tv, I guess technically, here tonight. So we're back for the top of the 4th inning. Dobbins out there for his 4th frame. And, Cardinals.tv is working the crowd with the camera. Who would have thought? Now, here is Hill. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. Four-seam fastball away. The count is 1-0. Hill is 0 for 1. Even though he has the run scored. He got on with the throwing error. Now, the 1-0 pitch. A sinker away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. In fact, yeah. Indeed. The 2-0 pitch. Chop foul down the third base side and out of play on the four-seam fastball away. The count is 2-1. 1 like away from 100. Oh, boy. Moving quick tonight. Thank you all so much. There's the Philly fan with the ridiculous Fanatics hat. The 2-1. Swinging strike on the slider away. The count is 2-2. I suppose the irony is the ridiculous Fanatic hats that Philly fan is wearing also probably bought it from Fanatics. There's only one good Fanatics in that equation. If you know, you know. Back into the saddle is Hill. It's a 2-2 count. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 4th inning. 2-0 Philadelphia. Common winds Dobbins. The 2-0. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 3-2. Yeah, Vaughn knows what I'm talking about. 100 likes. Thank you all so much. Dobbins winds the 3-2. Called strike 3. Sinker on the outside, quarter thigh high. For the first out of the inning. So Hill goes down in the observatory, gets the old backwards K. Major League Baseball's impression of Cyrillic for the first out here in the top of the 4th. It is quite a whistle indeed. 74 pitches here for Dobbins. Here's Justin Crawford. Righty-lefty matchup. First pitch. A curveball away. The count is 1-0. C. John, hi-yo. I see what you did there, Paul. You don't miss a trick. Crawford's 0 for 1 with a strikeout in his first at-bat. The 1-0 offering. A curveball away, ruled a ball. The count is 2-0. Came in at 77 miles an hour. Man, spitting image of his dad. It is unbelievable. I love it. I saw his dad play a lot. Now, the 2-0 pitch. fouled straight back on the four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 2-1. Jimmy Crooks was setting up away on that thing and ended up on the handle of Crawford there in the lefty batter's box. Worked out, I guess. Back into the saddle is Crawford. Looking in is Dobbins to Jimmy Crooks. He motions. He deals. Hit to the left side. Picked up there on a short hop by Prieto. He throws to first in time to get Justin Crawford for the second out of the inning. So Crawford grounds out. 5-3 for the first out. A very nice play there by Prieto at third. It was a very sharp, very low, short hop. He got leather on it, dropped it in front of him, was able to pick it up and get Justin Crawford by a couple of steps for the second out. Now here's Sosa, 1 for 1, and the first pitch. Strike, four-seam fastball outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. Sosa, of course, had that RBI single. Now the 0-1. And it gets a piece of Sosa there, so we have ourselves a hit by pitch. It was on a breaking ball. It got his elbow protector, but it's a hit by pitch all the same. So Sosa with the HBP takes first. The Phillies have a runner on first with 2 out here at the top of the 4th inning. Oh yeah, it definitely did, but no harm, no foul, save for the fact that he's standing on first base. Now, here is Stubbs, the left-hand hitting catcher, and the first pitch. A sweeper away ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Harold Houseman with the $2 super. I really appreciate it, Harold. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Runner leads. It's a 1-0 count. From the stretch is Dobbins, the 1-0. There's a fly ball out into left field. Fairmeans underneath it easily. Canacorn makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left on. After 3.5 innings of play, it is 2-0 Philadelphia here in the first of 3 in downtown St. Louis at Busch Stadium on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go back to that chat. Okay. Darren. I will say this. My Cubs will not lose today. Of course, they won't win either. Well, I like it. I like it. Harold is the man. There's no question about it. Bombers Game Mike with Big Paul D is where it's at. Well, yeah, I'm a whopping 5'10", but I appreciate it, Harold. Sosa used to play with the Cardinals. A familiar face. So I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Monday night here with me on Game Mike. As always, I hope you all had a great Monday, a good start to your week. How did it go? Did the world treat you well? Are you happy to be here right now? Was it a rough day? Let me know. And I'm not trying to sound glib or anything like that. I'm actually being quite serious, despite the jovial tone of my voice here, because you can't see my face to understand that I'm clearly being genuine. But I always like to make my intentions clear if possible, in case there's any sort of misunderstanding there. Alrighty. So due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the 4th inning, Herrera, Burleson, and Walker. 2, 3, and 4. It's a 2-0 Philly lead. Very hot. So I have heard, Brother Joe. So I have heard. Harold Houseman, not so bad. Hot. Muggy, super hot today in the Tampa Metro. Justin Beasley. It's all good. I love this game. Cheers to that, Scotty. Scotty Weatherby. Interesting. I like the YouTube handle. May just be your name, but I like that too. Now, here is Ivan Herrera. It's definitely a gut check, Roger, no question. He steps in against Andrew Painter, who has 3 shutout innings here so far. It's a 2-0 Phillies lead. Herrera's 0 for 1. Stubbs sets up away. The first pitch from Painter. A slider away ruled a ball. The count is 1-0, 87 miles an hour. Last 5 games, Herrera's hitting .435 with a home run, 4 RBIs, and 1130 OPS. Righty-righty matchup. From the full winds, Painter, the 1-0. Strike, changeup on the outside corner at the knees. The count is 1-1. That was actually a really, really well-placed pitch. He has 46 pitches so far in 3+ innings of work. Now the 1-1. Chopped off his foot off the bat of Herrera, and the count is 1-2. Painter comes one. Now the 1-2 pitch. Hit foul down the first baseline and out of play on the changeup up and into Herrera. And the count is 1-2. The infield defense, interestingly enough, is playing Herrera almost straight away, but back. You don't see that too often nowadays. Painter comes one. The 1-2. A sweeper well away and out of the zone. It's over the lefty batter's box. The count is 2-2. Hanging in. Very good, Scotty. Painter comes motion. The 2-2 to Herrera. Hit up the middle. Picked up there at second. He throws to first in time to get Herrera. So Herrera grounds out for 3 for the first out. And here comes Alec Burleson. His highlight so far was that double play on the lineout where he managed to tag Bryce Harper on his way back to the bag. Initially ruled safe was Harper, overturned on the official review. So righty-lefty matchup. First plate appearance, a walk for Burleson. A changeup up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. Really, the Cardinals do need base runners here. More than anything. Now, the 1-0 offering. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play on the changeup down and in. The count is 1-1. This is probably, so far, some of the best Andrew Painter has thrown all of this year. Now, the 1-1 pitch. Hit foul down the third base side and out of play on the four-seam fastball down and in. 97 miles an hour out of the right hand of Andrew Painter. The count is 1-2. Home plate umpire goes and gets himself more baseballs. On average, between 90 and 120 are used in every average Major League game. I know I've given that particular factoid out a bunch, but some people might not have heard it. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and strike 3 on the four-seam fastball away for the second out of the inning. That was a nasty four-seamer on the outside corner. It wasn't that he couldn't catch up with it. It had everything to do with the horizontal motion of the pitch going away from Burleson. Couldn't get a piece. Now here is Jordan Walker. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. 285, 23 home runs, 83 RBIs in 114 games, and 833 OPS. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the fourth inning, 2-0 Philadelphia. Stoops sets upside the first pitch. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball down and away, and the count is 0-1, 96 miles an hour. Painter looks in, and the 0-1. A sweeper away and over the lefty batter's box. The count is 1-1, 82 miles an hour. And it's even a very, very mild shift here for Jordan Walker, the 1-1 offering. Strike, slider on the outside corner at the knees. The count is 1-2. Well, one thing's for sure, Andrew Painter and Stoops here are definitely trying to attack him away. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. Everybody take a drink. Painter looks in. It's a 1-2 count. He motions. The 1-2. A changeup down and away, blocked very well there by Stoops. The count is 2-2. Hello, everyone from St. Louis, Missouri. Good to see you, Samantha. Now, the 2-2 offering. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup down and away. Swinging over the top of that one was Jordan Walker for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 4 full innings of play, it is 2-0 Philadelphia going to the top of the 5th inning. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. All right. Credit indeed, Harold. Credit indeed. Hit the ball straight, not lifting the ball. Yeah, he's still not right. That's for sure. Painter is a piñata for every other team. Warbucks? You ain't wrong. You ain't wrong. 113 likes. Thank you all so much. 211 people watching, says Nick/4Life. Please help by hitting that like button. Absolutely. Thank you all so much. All dogs have their day. The Cardinals tend to own the studs and act a fool against the potatoes. This is something we're seeing again and again that is, irksome to say the least, which is that they both play up and play down to their competition. Not in a modified form tonight, because obviously Andrew Painter's had not a great year. The numbers are very clear on that. But it is frustrating to watch, no doubt. Anthony D. Michelle. Cards need to get some hits. None so far. Hope everything is treating you well up there in South Dakota, Anthony. All right, due up for the Phillies in the top of the 5th inning. Schwarber, Stott, and Harper. 1, 2, 3 in the Phillies order. Gotta take off those headphones temporarily. They heat you up fast. But that's the name of the game, folks. You play through the pain. All right, we're back here for the top of the 5th inning. Hunter Dobbins should be out there for the top. Indeed he is. So here's Kyle Schwarber. 2 walks so far in his first 2 plate appearances. The first pitch. Swinging strike on the sweeper. Down and away. The count is 0-1. 80 miles an hour on that thing. Kyle Schwarber has walked in his 2 initial plate appearances tonight. Nobody on, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning. 2-0 Philly. The 0-1. Strike, 4-seam fastball inside quarter at the knees. The count is 0-2. That one had great downhill action and just enough horizontal action to paint the inside corner for a strike called. Now, coming winds, Dobbins, the 0-2. A slider down and in, well out of the zone. Counts 1-2. 85 pitches here for Hunter Dobbins. He's been laboring, to say the least. He comes motion, the 1-2. Hit out there into right field and in for a base hit. Picked up out there in front of the wall in the corner. Bobbling it there is Jordan Walker. Going to second is Schwarber. He slides in and he has himself a leadoff double for the Phillies here in the top of the 5th inning. Jordan Walker there, undoubtedly by his bobbling of the ball once he got to it, allowed Kyle Schwarber the extra steps he needed to beat a play at second. Because something that we've definitely learned, and the Phillies certainly know this, is that if it's even money and you're trying to beat Jordan Walker's arm, you don't do it. The bobble out there allowed it to work, and it wasn't even money. Runner on second with nobody out. Now here is Stott. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off second. Stott's 0 for 2. The first pitch. A 4-seam fastball in. Did he check his swing? Yes, he did, Blue says down the third baseline. The count is 1-0. Schwarber leads off second, following that leadoff double. Setting at the Birds is Dobbins, the 1-0. Strike, splitter on the outer third, below the belt to Stott. The count is 1-1. Dobbins has been laboring. He definitely has not broken. He sets at the Bird. Runner leads. The 1-1 to Stott. Strike. Uncle Charlie outer third about thigh high. The count is 1-2. Dobbins looks into Crooks. Next pitch is his 90th. He comes set at the stretch. Now the 1-2. Hit out to the right side and into right field for a base hit. Picked up by Jordan Walker on a hop. He tosses back in. Going no further than third is Kyle Schwarber. And on that single to right, The Phillies have runners at the corner with nobody out. Here in the top of the 5th inning, they have a 2-0 lead here in game 1 of 3 in this early midweek set. And here's Bryce Harper, struck out in his last at-bat. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. And Jimmy Crooks is going out there to have a little word with Dobbins. Seems to be just the both of them. So an intimate affair on the bump as he whispers sweet nothings into Hunter's ear. Runners on first and third with nobody out. Top of the 5th inning, 2-0 Philadelphia. So once this mound visit's broken up, Bryce Harper will be stepping into the saddle. 2-0 Philadelphia here in the top of the 5th. In 1,904 games, he has 1,908 hits, 388 home runs, 1,122 RBIs does Bryce Harper. He is one of the greats in his time as they switch up the baseball. And here we go. Runners on the corners, nobody out. Top of the 5th inning. Righty-lefty matchup. From the stretch is Dobbins. Crook sets up away. And the first pitch. Strike splitter on the outside quarter thigh high. The count is 0-1. That came at 84 miles per hour. Harper's hitting .293 with a homer and 38 RBIs with runners in scoring position this year. Infield defense very heavily shaded towards right with the exception of Pareto on the left side. Throwing over to first and back in time is Stott with the head first slide. The count is 0-1. Harper gets back into the saddle. Runners at the corners. Coming set is Dobbins at the Birds. Crook sets up away. The 0-1. Foul down the third base side out of play on the splitter away. The count is 0-2. So Hunter Dobbins has Bryce Harper 0-2 here. 92 pitches here so far in 4+ innings of work. Both of his runs unearned, which is so strange because he's responsible for the error that scored one of them. Now the 0-2. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play. The slider in. Harper gets back into the saddle. Harper looks in. Dobbins looks in. To Crooks, who sets up away. Now the 0-2 pitch. Hit on uphill, picked up by Mason Wynn, who steps on second one. On to first, a double play. A 6-3 double play for the first and second outs of the inning. Schwarber does score, however. That pushes one across, and it gives Philadelphia a 3-0 lead. So, at this point, I imagine Dobbins, though it's not the preferred option, would give up the run to get the 2 outs. Now, here is Arias. Arias is 0 for 2, first at bat. Lined out to Alec Burleson for the double play. The first pitch. Hit down the left field line and out of play in the four-seam fastball away. The count is 0-1. 95 pitches here for Dobbins. It's interesting seeing Arias in the 4-hole, I will admit. Dobbins comes motion. The 0-1. Fouled straight back on the sweeper up and in. The count is 0-2. So one across here in the top of the 5th for the Phillies. They have a 3-0 lead here in the first of 3. The run scored in the person of Kyle Schwarber following the double play that Bryce Harper hit into. Looking in as Dobbins shakes off Crooks a couple of times. Keeps shaking him off. Now he's got it. He winds the 0-2. There's a fly ball out to left field. Underneath it is Fairmean. Barely needs to move. Can of Corn makes the catch for the third and final out of the inning. However, the Phillies, they get one more, and they leave nobody on. They have a 3-0 lead going to the bottom of the 5th inning. I'm Paul D., and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go back to that chat. Okay. Yeah, Andrew Painter, through 4 innings pitched here, has a no-hitter going. Of that, there is absolutely no doubt. how many were? I think we're somewhere maybe in the mid-50s. I'd have to go back and count, which I suppose is a good thing, really. And we are extremely, I can certainly speak for myself, and for many of the regulars here who have been just so supportive game in and game out. It's just a real pleasure to call these games for you guys. That I thank each and every one of you who have done so, not just tonight, but every game prior to this year. Your encouragement, your support, your thoughtful insights, they don't go overlooked. Let's go Philadelphia Phillies. All right, Ron. Welcome aboard here. Okay. Let's see. All righty. Not a whole lot going on in the chat. Well, except for that one innings, Dobbins does a good job. Yeah, he's really scuffled along the way, but he's never gotten too bad. Harold Houseman, you are deserving, Paul. Well, thank you, Harold. Thank you so much. So the Redbirds in the bottom of the fifth inning. Church, Wynn, and Fairmean. 5, 6, 7 in their order. They'll face Andrew Painter. He's pitching his rear end off tonight. He's got himself a no-hitter going to the bottom of the fifth inning. 3-0 Philadelphia. Now, the first pitch to Nate Church. There's a fly ball out into left field. Coming in is Marsh, who camps underneath it. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So one pitch, one out there to Nate Church. Now I'll bring up Mason Wynn. 60 pitches so far for Painter. Wynn is 0 for 1. Jose Fermin is on deck. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Well, thank you so much, Ron. I really appreciate that. Now, here comes Mason Wynn just strutting into the box. You can tell Andrew Painter is really dialed in here. I imagine we'll get some peeks of him in the dugout in the top of the sixth where nobody is even near him. Now, the first pitch to Wynn. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. 95 miles an hour. The count is 1-0. Mason Wynn 0 for 1 with the pop-out. Okay, yeah, they did rule the pop-out. The 1-0. Strike. Slider on the inside, quarter below the belt. The count is 1-1. Stoob sets up away. The 1-1 offering. A four-seam fastball up and in. The count is 2-1, so Painter clearly missed his mark on that one. Has not done that much tonight. Mason Wynn gets back in the saddle. Nobody on with one out, bottom of the fifth. 3-0 Phillies. Painter winds the 2-1. Hit down the first base line, and Mason Wynn is shaking his right hand. It's like he got a bad vibration on it, literally a bad vibration on the bat when he hit it. Kind of looks like he's shaking it in the same way you do when you're hitting and it's cold and wet out. You hit a ball, but you don't hit it flush, and it just like stays with you for 15 minutes. Anybody who's played baseball knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, so I don't know exactly what's going on there, but he's not getting any additional attention. The 2-2 from Painter. A sweeper upstairs and out of the zone. The count is 3-2. Now, the 3-2 pitch. Swinging strike three on the slider away for the second out of the inning. So Mason Wynn did a huge favor to Andrew Painter there. That thing was not even remotely close to the zone. But as a sweeper goes, it looked like he was going to be on the outside corner until about 5 feet in front of the plate. Then he just flailed at it. Nobody on with 2 out. Here's Jose Fermin. Righty-righty matchup. He's 0 for 1. 66 pitches so far for Painter. And the first pitch. A sinker inside ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. And as well as Andrew Painter has pitched tonight, he hasn't been huge on the first pitch strike, which I think is awfully interesting. Credit to him. Now the 1-0. He shows bunt, pulls back. The changeup called strike on the outer third thigh high, and the count is 1-1. No, Darren, I have to call these things audio only when I'm on the road. No camera set up when I'm on the road. It's radio theater when I'm on the road. The 1-1. A slider away ruled a ball. The count is 2-1. Nobody on, 2 out, bottom of the fifth inning. 3-0 Philadelphia. Next pitch is going to be Andrew Painter's 70th. Back into the saddle is Fermin. It's a 2-1 count. He winds. He deals. A sweeper well away and over the lefty batter's box. The count is 3-1. Sam, whatever the game plan was, it seems to be going belly up. Stoop sets upside, the 3-1. Strike, four-seam fastball down Broadway at the knees. The count is 3-2. Jose Fermin taking all the way on 3-1. On deck is Jimmy Crooks. He's 0-1. If they get there. Now the 3-2. Hit down the first base side. Now to play on the four-seam fastball away. 96 miles an hour from Painter. And, let's see here. I saw what you wrote earlier, Harold. I'm going to read it, and I have thoughts. I definitely have thoughts. Now, back onto the bump is Painter. It's a 3-2 count. He comes, motion, the pitch. Check swing on the four-seam fastball up and away. It's ruled ball 4. It's challenged immediately by Philadelphia in the person of Stoop. So we have an ABS challenge incoming. Philadelphia has both of theirs. And it missed by a whole lot. So ball 4 on the four-seam fastball up and away. They don't even give you a measurement. It was that far away. So Philadelphia loses the first of its 2 ABS challenges. It's allotted in regulation. Both teams only have 1 remaining. Jose Fermin works a 2-out walk here at the bottom of the 5th. Runner on first with 2 out. 3-0 Philadelphia. Now here is the left-handed hitting catcher, Jimmy Crooks. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Andrew Painter has not been from the stretch in several frames. He comes set at the letters. And the first pitch to Crooks. Strike, changeup, down Broadway below the belt. The count is 0-1. Jimmy Crooks 0-1 with the ground out. Next pitch is going to be Andrew Painter's 75th and 4 2/3 so far. Fermin leads off first. Infield defense very much shaded towards right. The 0-1. Strike, sweeper on the outside corner, thigh high, 80 miles an hour, and the count is 0-2. So Andrew Painter at this point has Jimmy Crooks right where he wants him. And Jimmy Crooks has to now play defense here in the box. And time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jimmy Crooks, who steps out briefly. Andrew Painter, he looks in. He comes set at the letters. He deals. Hit foul right behind home plate on the four-seam fastball up and away. The count is 0-2. Runner leads off first. Painter shakes off Stoobs a couple of times, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. He has his pitch. He comes set. The 0-2 to Crooks. A four-seam fastball up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. So Painter picks up the rosin bag, takes a couple of good pops on that, wants a different baseball. 77 pitches so far. Runner on first with 2 out, bottom of the 5th inning. 3-0 Philadelphia. Painter comes set. The 1-2 to Crooks. Hit down the left field line and into the stands on the changeup up and away. The count remains 1-2. Honestly, Jerry, he's been hitting better lately than it would appear. Almost like very quietly. Now, his overall numbers are absolutely abysmal. And he also has that propensity for the pass ball. But we'll see. Stoop sets up away. The 1-2. Fouled off on the changeup away. Just getting a piece of that is Jimmy Crooks. Counts 1-2. 6 pitches so far. Mostly changeups, four-seamers, and the single sweeper that came in the second pitch of that at-bat. Painter takes a couple of quick breaths. Runner leads. He sets at the letters. He deals. A sweeper well down and in. An amazing catch there by Stoobs, making sure that thing doesn't go to the backstop. It basically had a frisbee motion around Jimmy Crooks' body in the lefty batter's box. And the count is 2-2. It's a 3-0 Philadelphia lead. Oddly enough, it is only a very light shift here for the lefty Jimmy Crooks. Now the 2-2. Hit to the right side, and it just goes foul on the slider, and the count remains 2-2. So Jimmy Crooks is giving Andrew Painter all he's got. It has been a very competitive at-bat with a runner on first and 2 out. 3-0 Philadelphia, bottom of the 5th inning. Painter's got himself a no-hitter going. He comes set at the letters. Stoop sets outside. Throwing over to first, back in time with the head first slide is Jose Fermin. The count remains 2-2. Darren, I would not call it the most likely outcome. I want them to keep it interesting to the end. Now, the 2-2 pitch. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking goes Jimmy Crooks on the changeup on the outside corner for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left on. After 5 full innings of play, it is 3-0 Philadelphia going to the top of the 6th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike tonight, you haven't done so already, but you feel I've earned it. In your gut, in your heart, in your head, please leave a like. That little button on your screen there does so much good for the channel. And you have my eternal gratitude. And if you're not already subscribed, and you like what you see and hear, you've never been here before, or you've been back multiple times, I'm asking you, what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe. Great community here on Game Mike. With that said, me here, you there, this is Bombers Game Mike. 3-0 Philadelphia going top of 8. All right, Harold. I made a particular note of what you had to say here earlier. I'm just pulling it up. Okay, here we go. I had a bit of a disagreement earlier today with one of our local Cardinals chats. They want the Navy hats on all road games. I argued for the Cardinals hat as the color has everything to do with the team. Okay, Harold. I'm going to give you my hot take here. Are you ready? I know you're ready. So they haven't done that since 2013. It's been 13 years. And I gotta say, I've always really liked the Navy caps. I don't want them to wear at home or anything like that. And even when it was a usual thing they did, prior to 2013, there would still be occasions when they'd wear the red. But it's a really sharp cap. I've always really liked it. At the very least, I think they should wear it more because they sell it at the same price as everything else. And at least they can do is, put the merchandise on display in the action. All right, we're back here for the top of the 6th inning. And Luis Gastelum is in the game. The right-hander, 24 years old, 12 games, 2-2 with an 8.10 ERA and 13 1/3 innings pitched. 10 strikeouts in that span and a whip of 1.58. Luis Gastelum is one of those little girls with the curl, despite the fact he has ridiculously pin-straight locks coming out the back of that hat there. He's either really good or really bad. Due up here for Philadelphia, Marsh, Hill, and Crawford. 5, 6, 7 in the Phillies order. 131 likes, 171 people watching. Hit that like button. Here's Gastelum. It'll be a righty-lefty mashup here to Marsh. He's 1 for 2. Here's the first pitch. Strike. Change up on the outer third above the knees. The count is 0-1. This pitching change is brought to you by Tums, the official antacid of Luis Gastelum. And the whole Cardinal bullpen. The 0-1. Strike. Four-seam fastball outside corner. A very generous call there, to say the least. But the count is 0-2. Marsh is not challenging it. Probably wise on both sides. They only have 1 ABS remaining. Gastelum sets the 0-2. Swinging strike 3. Down, hacking goes Marsh for the first out of the top of the 6th. Guten Morgen, guten Nachmittag, guten Nacht. Brandon Marsh. Says Luis Gastelum, who I don't think has ever spoken a word of German in his life. Now, nobody on with 1 out, top of the 6th inning. It's 3-0 Philadelphia. Here's the righty Hill, who's over 2. Righty-righty matchup. He shows bunt, pulls back, and the four-seam fastball is in. It's a ball. The count is 1-0. You whistle enthusiasts, I know how much you love that whistle. I couldn't call a game without it. That's why I brought it with me. Hill gets back into the saddle. Gastelum comes set. Now the 1-0. Strike, sweeper on the outside corner, thigh high. The count is 1-1. C-John, Navy hat is great until the Red Sox fan make mistake that you are a Beantown fan. Yeah, that's an unforgivable mistake. Jimmy Crook sets up outside. Now the 1-1. Swinging strike on the sweeper away. Swinging over that thing was Hill. The count is 1-2. But here's the thing I want to think about here. Is bringing back the Navy cap right now has some symbolism to it. At least that's how I see it. And if anybody from, the Cardinal marketing department happens to be lurking out there, you can steal this if you want, so long as you give me credit for it. I know you won't. The 1-2. A change-up away and out of the zone. The count is 2-2. It's deeply evocative of the Pujols era, the 06 and 11 Cardinals, because they wore it all the time on the road. That home run off of Brad Lidge, that happened with Navy ball caps, and in the case of Albert, a Navy helmet. The 2-2. Called strike 3. Four-seam fastball on the outside corner below the belt. For the second out of the inning. So Hill goes down in the observatory, gets the old backwards K, Major League Baseball's impression of Cyrillic for the second out. So that's what I would say. I would say it as a subtle message that maybe we're back. Now here's Justin Crawford. He's 0 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch hit to the right side. Picked up on a couple bounce by Burleson. Steps on the bag himself for the third and final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, no walks, nobody left on. After 5.5 innings of play, it is 3-0 Philadelphia going to the bottom of the 6th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Let's go back to that chat. Okay. Yeah, it was huge. And, they have so many good uniform items, too. It's like, don't banish the Navy cap to the shadow realm. We don't need that. I remember when they first did it, I was like, oh, okay, that's a choice. And, of course, they stuck with it. I respect that. And the Cardinals look good almost regardless which piece of uniform they're wearing. But the Navy caps definitely are deeply evocative of that era. That's largely how I interpret it. At least that's how I wish to interpret it at the very least. Eric Boys. Hey, Paul D. Hey, how's it going, Eric? How you doing? They could tweak the design a bit. Make this STL logo bigger. Interesting. Thurman, this is our inning. Well, from your mouth to God's ears, my friend. So, due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the 6th inning. Prieto, Weatherall, and Herrera, 9-1-2, will face Andrew Painter. I think they should bring out Jordan Walker's bat for every player. Interesting. In the chat there, I don't want to get out of control or anything, but most people here probably have some opinion on the Navy cap, Navy helmet issue. Share it down in the chat because I'm legitimately curious. I've been thinking about this for over a decade, and only the other day has it finally come up. And part of it has to do with an interview Michael McGreevy was doing with the local ESPN talk radio affiliate in St. Louis. That, and I think they pulled the team or something. The point is that it's opened up something here, and I find it interesting. Let me know what you all think. We are back here for the bottom of the 6th inning. 3-0 Philadelphia here in game 1 of 3. In downtown St. Louis at Busch Stadium on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi. Here's Prieto, righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch from Painter. A changeup in the dirt, down and away. The count is 1-0. Clairvoyance, Thurman claims to have. Okay. Now, the 1-0 offering. Hit to the right side, picked up there by Schwarber. He tosses to Painter, covering in time to get Prieto for the first out. So Prieto grounds out 3-1 for the first out in the bottom of the 6th. Now back to the top of the order with J.J. Weatherall. J.J. is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Ditto Ivan Herrera. 84 pitches here for Andrew Painter, who has just been nothing else but outstanding. There's no way to distort that. When will Prieto get a hit? That's a good question, Anthony. Now, the first pitch to Weatherall. A sweeper up and away, and the count is 1-0. Really don't care as long as they win games. I'm not saying you're wrong there, my friend. Something has to be wrong with Blaze. Yeah, the 1-0. A four-seam fastball up and away, and the count is 2-0, 96 miles an hour. Have to say, I like the navy more than the Sunday hat. The 2-0. Swinging strike on the changeup away. The count is 2-1 to J.J. Weatherall. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Have to say, I like the navy more than the Sunday hat. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker, and I really like the Sunday bird. I love that one. That's actually the first Cardinal cap I ever bought at Busch Stadium, to be sure. Now, come in wide. The 2-1 to Weatherall. A slider inside ruled a ball. The count is 3-1. Stube was actually setting up on the outside corner away on that, so it didn't exactly go Painter's way there. He wants a 3-1. Rule ball 4 on the slider upstairs, so J.J. Weatherall works a one-out walk here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Now here comes Ivan Herrera. It'll be a righty versus righty matchup. Next pitch is going to be Andrew Painter's 90th, and painting he has. Yes, indeed, Dave Elliott. He is pitching a no-no. Into the box is Herrera. Setting at the letters from the stretch is Painter. The first pitch. A changeup up and in and out of the zone. Counts 1-0. 88 miles an hour. Weatherall is on first. Herrera is fouled out and ground out. That's his 0 for 2 tonight. Stube sets up away. The 1-0 offering. Hit to the left side and down the left field line into the corner for a base hit. Coming around second, going to third is J.J. Weatherall, and Ivan Herrera has a one-out double to left for the first hit of the game, and the Cardinals have runners on second and third with one out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Oh, he just got it. Put it perfectly down the line. It was a breaking ball away. It looked like a sweeper on the outer third, about thigh high. Couldn't do anything about it at the hot corner. Then it started rolling around in the corner. Now the Cardinals have 2 runners in scoring position with less than 2 out. And here comes Alec Burleson. And it looks like there is a meeting of minds out there. There is a mound visit. It's not Donnie Baseball, so presumably they are keeping him in the game right now. That came on his 91st pitch of the night. And the whole infield is in on this powwow. You can see the gears turning in Don Mattingly's head. And the right-hander, Alan Rangel, around hell, getting hot down there in that Philly bullpen. What you sure don't see turning in Ollie's head. Oh, boy. That cuts. That cuts. So here is Alec Burleson. He's a righty-lefty matchup. On deck is Jordan Walker. Burleson is 0 for 1. Come and set. The first pitch. Hit foul down the first baseline. Just chopped foul on the slider. The count is 0-1. Showing the home run yesterday, just that mammoth home run that basically went 450 feet to right center field by Alec Burleson. Now, Painter sets up the letters and deals. Hit to the right side and into center field for a base hit. Coming home is Weatherall. He will score. Coming around third is Herrera. He will score. A 2 RBI single off the bat of Alec Burleson, and that will cut it down to a 3-2 Philly lead with one out here in the bottom of the 6th. It just turned into a ball game again, and yes, indeed, I accidentally hit the whistle. But no one here is complaining. That thing was middle for Burleson, and he just put it right up the middle, slightly right of second. Nobody was getting to it. It's now 3-2 Philadelphia with that one out, 2 RBI single by Alec Burleson. Here comes Jordan Alexander Walker. And that will do it for Andrew Painter. 5 1/3, 2 earned runs. The runner on first still his responsibility. Going to Rangel, the right-hander. Give you his numbers in just a moment to face Jordan Walker with a runner on first, one out here in the bottom of the sixth inning. It's a 3-2 Philadelphia lead. Well, the burly first baseman for St. Louis. Somebody earlier tonight was asking a question. I think it was actually right around when the broadcast started. Is, why not put Alec Burleson in the outfield? I think it's rather apparent is that he's become a very steady first baseman now, and they like him where he is. I'm glad to hear you enjoy it, Scotty. Fair enough, Scott Reed. Fair enough. Happens every once in a while. So, we have ourselves a pitching change. Alan Rangel, 28-year-old right-hander in 6 games this year, is 0-3 with a 5.40 ERA, 23 and a third innings pitched, 26 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.59. That's his story there. I believe it would be Ron Hell. He's from Mexico. So we await the end of this pitching change. Fair enough, Thurman. All right. So tomorrow night, it's Sanchez versus Palante, and then on Wednesday afternoon, Wheeler versus Leahy. So you're really getting the front end of the bullpen there, the rotation for the Phillies. Sanchez, a 2.65, started the All-Star game for the National League. Here's Ron Hell. Gave you his numbers just a moment ago. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. Runner on first with 1 out. 2 already in. It's a 3-2 Philadelphia lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Cummins sets Ron Hell. The first pitch. A 4-seam fastball well upstairs. A very nice job there by Stews, making sure to go in the netting behind home plate. The count is 1-0. Luis Gastelum was in the game. He had a 1-2-3 top of the 6th. The 1-0. Strike. Change up on the outside corner below the belt. The count is 1-1. Is it on FS1 tonight, Dennis? Interesting. Okay. Stoop sets up away. Cummins set his Ron Hell. He deals. There goes the runner. Hit to the left side and foul. So it appears that the hit and run was on. Don't see that nearly enough anymore. And it's a 1-2 count. Jordan Walker's 0 for 2. Couple of strikeouts. Burleson leads off first with 1 out. Ron Hell comes set. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Jordan Walker. Everybody take a drink. He gets back into the saddle. Infield defense very heavily shaded towards left, with the exception of the first baseman holding Burleson. Ron Hell sets. The 1-2. Pop straight up and behind home plate on the 4-seam fastball. The count remains 1-2. Whitey ball, yeah. Track meet. Runner leads off first with 1 out. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-2 Philadelphia. 2 in here for the Cardinals here in the bottom of the 6th. Ron Hell sets. The 1-2 to Walker. Swinging strike 3 on the slider. Down and away for the 2nd out of the inning. So Jordan Walker now has the hat trick for strikeouts tonight. He's 0 for 3. And here comes the lefty, Nate Church. They are just giving him breaking balls away, everything away. He seems to be pulling off the ball. It's strange, but you see it, especially when you saw his swing earlier this year, which was devastating. Nathan Church is 0 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner on first with 2 out. The pitch. A 4-seam fastball up and away, and the count is 1-0. Nate Church definitely had himself a series against the Yankees last week. Stoops sets up away. The 1-0. Strike. Change up down Broadway. Middle. Count is 1-1. Back into the saddle is Church. Ron Hell comes set. Stoops setting up away. The 1-1. Foul down the left field, lining out of play on the four-seam fastball up and away. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. I know, Ron, I know. And the thing is, as soon as that came out that very night, you guys all heard me. I first guessed that decision. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. You know, sometimes you like being right, but not here. Back into the saddle is Nate Church. Stoops sets up away. Ron Hell sets. Runner leads off first with 2 out. Throwing over to first. Back in time with the head first slide. There is Burleson. The count is 1-2. I just didn't like it. I've seen what it had done to other hitters, and I didn't want any part of it. Now, Ron Hell sets. Stoops setting up away. The 1-2 to Church. Hit out there into right field and in for a 2-out base hit for right. And now, following the 2-out single to right off the bat of Nate Church, the Cardinals have runners on first and second with 2 out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 2 already in for the Redbirds. It's a 3-2 Philly lead. He just got a piece away and managed to turn on it, plunk it out there into right field. No chance to get that thing on the fly. Now runners on first and second with 2 out, bottom of the 6th. Here's the righty hitting shortstop for St. Louis, Mason Wynn. Mason's 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He gets into the saddle. Runners on first and second, they lead. Ron Hell comes set. The first pitch to Wynn. A changeup upstairs ruled a ball, 82 miles an hour. The count is 1-0. Mason Wynn, a pop-out and a strikeout. This is a guy who will hit against the shift, too. Now, Ron Hell sets the 1-0 offering. Change-up called strike, and it looks like, is Mason Wynn challenging that? Because he definitely should. He definitely went to the top of his helmet. Actually, I think he was just adjusting it. That's one of the things you run into now with the ABS challenge for batters in the box. Ron Hell sets the 1-1. Strike. Uncle Charlie down Broadway, 73 miles an hour, and it's 1-2. So Mason Wynn here is in the hole, 1-2 to Ron Hell. There are runners on first and second with 2 out. 2 already in. Bottom of the 6th inning, 3-2 Philadelphia. Come in set. The 1-2. A slider away. Clearly a ball. The count is 2-2. Yes, indeed, Scott Reed. Yes, indeed. Come in set is Ron Hell. The 2-2. Swinging strike 3 on the slider upstairs for the third and final out of the inning. However, the Cardinals, they push 2 across on the hits there from Burleson and Herrera. They put up 2. They cut it down to a 3-2 lead. They leave 2 on. We head to the top of the 7th inning. 3-2 Philadelphia here in the first of 3 in this early midweek set at Busch. Downtown St. Louis on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. Back to chat. Early double. How did they get 2 runs? Both of them are on the bat of Burleson, Alan. Thurman, I remember you talking about that, Paul. I'm glad I have a witness, Thurman. I appreciate you having my back on that. It's not something you want to be right about. I certainly take no pleasure in that. But you know what? If it, waddles like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably not a Komodo dragon. All right. Yeah, 2 runs, Michael, 2 runs. So let's see here. Let's see what Ollie Marmol has cooked up here for the top of the 7th inning. It's still showing Gastelum in the game. Had a fine top of the 6th inning. Couple of strikeouts, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. He will face Sosa, Stubbs, and Schwarber. So 8, 9, and 1 in the Philly order. Yeah, Dennis, he needs to either go to the minors or the bullpen. We're back to the top of the 7th inning. 3-2 Philadelphia. Gastelum appears to be out there for his second frame, I believe. Indeed he is. I'd recognize those locks anywhere. Righty-righty matchup here against the shortstop Sosa, who's 1 for 1. The first pitch. A sinker strike down Broadway, 93 miles an hour. The count is 0-1. 3-2 Philadelphia, top of the 7th inning. 2 across there in the bottom of the 6th for the Cardinals. They're trying to make something of this. Gastelum comes set. The 0-1. A four-seam fastball down and away. The count is 1-1. What the organization will do with Libby is anybody's guess, but staying in the rotation I don't think is helping anyone, including him. Gastelum sets the 1-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the changeup on the outside corner. Pulling the string there was Luis Gastelum, and the count is 1-2. Way out in front of that was Sosa. Gastelum looking in there to Jimmy Crooks. Shakes him off a couple of times. Back into the saddle is Sosa. It's a 1-2 count. Gastelum comes set. The 1-2. Hit down the right field line and into the stands on the four-seam fastball. The count remains 1-2. Oh, I don't think it's very high, Harold. I don't think it's very high for Jordan Walker. Because while there's been a power outage, you know, I think he's on a 9-game hitting streak. The 1-2. Swinging strike 3. Down, heck, and goes Sosa. For the first out of the inning, Luis Gastelum pulling the string again on Sosa on the outside corner with that really nasty circle change. Excellent arm side action, and here comes Ali Marmol, so we will have ourselves a pitching change. In comes Caleb Ferguson, recently acquired from the Cincinnati Reds in exchange for $250,000 of international signing pool money. He will face the 9-hitter, the catcher Stubbs, here with 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. It's a 3-2 Philly lead. Give you the numbers on Ferguson in just a moment. No, everything we've seen from Ferguson so far has been very encouraging. Now, I'm sure I just cursed him to the high heavens, but we'll keep that aside. The 30-year-old left-hander, Caleb Ferguson, in 28 games this year between Cincinnati and St. Louis, has a 1-0 record, a 3.58 ERA in 27 2/3 innings pitched, 25 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.41. So they're going to the pen. This pitching change is brought to you by Serta, the official mattress sponsor of Ollie Marmol. For in-game naps, Justin Beasley, always cutting. So we await the completion of this pitching change. Oh, no question, Harold, no question. It's absolutely a gem. Comes up with all of it on the fly. Very impressive. Oh, thank you all so much for spending Monday night here on Game Mike. Hope you're enjoying yourself. I am. Been a tight one. Very competitive game here. And we're back here following the pitching change. He's going to face Stubbs, who's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Nobody on with 1 out, top of the 7th inning. 3-2 Phillies down at Busch, first of 3. I'll be back tomorrow night for tomorrow night's play-by-play live stream at 6:35 p.m. Central Time. First pitch at Busch scheduled for 6:45 p.m. Central Time. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Common sets Ferguson, the first pitch to Stubbs. A sinker up and in and out of the zone, 92 miles an hour. The count is 1-0. Gave you the numbers there on Ferguson. He sets at the Birds. The 1-0. A sinker well up and in. Stubbs having to go down to one knee to get out of the way of that thing. The count is 2-0. Well, I can tell you this, Justin. There is nothing like summer in the city. Peaches and Cream put that to music. Nobody on with one out. It's a 2-0 count. Top of the 7th, 3-2 Phillies. Now the 2-0 pitch. A sinker inside ruled a ball. The count is 3-0. Oh, that's excellent, Max. I'm glad to hear that. Now Ferguson sets. The 3-0 to Stoops. Strike, sinker down and in. The count is 3-1. So Ferguson has been good so far in his few appearances since joining this club from Cincinnati. And time is granted by the home plate umpire at the behest of Stoops. He sets the 3-1. Ball 4 on the sinker away, so Stoops works a one-out walk here in the top of the 7th inning. The Phillies have a runner on first with one out. Ferguson was not exactly in the zone there. And now he gets to face the lefty Schwarber, a much taller order, no doubt. 2 walks in his first 2 plate appearances. And a single back in the 5th. Schwarber is 1 for 1. It's a lefty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off first with one out. Top of the 7th, 3-2 Phillies. Setting up away is Crooks, the first pitch. A cutter well away and out of the zone. 87 miles an hour. The count is 1-0. Schwarber gets back into the saddle. Runner leads off first. Ferguson sets at the Birds. The pitch. There's a fly ball out into right center field, and it hits the warning track, hits off the top of the wall, picked up there by Church. Coming in and scoring is Stoops all the way from first, and Kyle Schwarber has a one-out double to right, and that will make it a 4-2 Philly lead here in the top of the 2nd inning. Correction, top of the 7th inning. It was just out over the plate. It was just out over the plate. That thing was middle up, and you are going to win never when you put it there to Kyle Schwarber. In fact, they are extremely fortunate that it stayed in the park. At Citizens Bank, I'm virtually certain it would not. Now, a runner on second with one out, top of the 7th inning, 4-2 Phillies. There's one already in on the Kyle Schwarber double. Now, the first pitch to Stott. A four-seam fastball down and away. The count is 1-0. Stott is 1 for 3. Schwarber leads off second. Infield defense shaded towards right. The 1-0. A cutter down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-0. This is, of course, a lefty versus lefty matchup. A lot of lefties there. That's why Ollie Marmol went to him. That and Brule has just gotten a lot of use lately, too. Ferguson sets. Now the 2-0 to Stott. A sinker in and out of the zone. The count is 3-0. Ten pitches here for Ferguson. Stott's back into the saddle. Runner leads off second. It's a 3-0 count. The 3-0 pitch. Strike, sinker on the inner third below the belt. The count is 3-1. Yeah, he's having a lot of trouble with the strike zone, Justin, no doubt. He sets at the Birds. The pitch. Ball 4 on the cutter on the outside corner, just a bit too low, so Stott works a one-out walk. The Phillies have runners on first and second with one out here in the top of the 7th inning. 4-2 Philadelphia. They have one already in on that one-out RBI double to right center by Kyle Schwarber. And here comes Bryce Harper. A walk, a strikeout, and a ground out into a double play. That led to the 3rd run for the Phillies tonight. Lefty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. A slurve inside ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Came in at 79 miles an hour. Yeah, seriously, Justin. 13 pitches so far here for Ferguson. He sets. Now the 1-0 pitch. Strike. Cutter on the outer third above the knees. The count is 1-1. Now he sets. Runners lead. The pitch to Harper. A sinker ruled a ball just inside. The count is 2-1. Sejan, this is getting ugly fast. Someone take a walk to the mound. Ferguson sets at the Birds. The 2-1 to Harper. Fouled straight back on the cutter away. The count is 2-2 strikes. Ferguson gets back into the bump. He comes set. Runners lead off first and second with one out. The 2-2. Fouled straight back on the sinker upstairs. The count remains 2-2. So this has been a bit of a battle here between Caleb Ferguson and Bryce Harper. The infield defense is only slightly shaded towards right. They're in a modified double play depth with less than 2 out. They want to see if they can pull that trick off again. It will not be easy. Not with this fella. Ferguson sets up on the far first base side of the rubber. And the 2-2. Chop foul down the first base side. Now to play on the slurve in. The count remains 2-2. It plays quite large, Thurman. At least this year it has. When you had Albert Pujols, nothing played large. I could tell you that. Maybe the Polo Grounds to center. Now the 2-2. A sinker misses the outside corner up and away. The count is full. 3-2 strikes. 12 balls and 7 strikes of the 19 total thrown so far by Caleb Ferguson. That is not what you want. He sets the pitch. Ball 4 on the four-seam fastball away. So now Bryce Harper with the one-out walk loads the bases for Philadelphia with only 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. They already have 1 across. They have a 4-2 lead. And here comes Luis Arias, recently acquired from San Francisco at the deadline. And Ali Marmol, it looks like he'll be going to the pen. They haven't shown us anybody who might be warming up. So let's see here. The entire infield's coming in. And they have a Steadicam operator following Marmol all the way out to the mound. Talk about production credentials. And indeed, Caleb Ferguson's night is over. Coming in is the righty, Gordon Graceffo, with the bases loaded and 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. Gordon Graceffo, folks. Let me give you the latest numbers on Gordon Graceffo. In 46 games this year, the 26-year-old right-hander is 7-1 with a 3.04 ERA, 56 in the third innings pitched, 36 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 1.10. That is Gordon Graceffo, who is coming in with the bases loaded and 1 out. I don't care if you're a lefty or a righty. If you're on, you're on. I despise this new mentality in baseball that it's always best to have an arm side batter. Basically, they're just trying to leverage the numbers. Is it kind of annoying? Yeah, admittedly. But, they're just following the data on that. And I'm not a straight analytics guy. Anybody that's been listening to me long enough knows that's not the case. It's always a balance between the two. But yeah, it really has gone in vogue and doesn't seem like it's on its way out anytime soon, unfortunately. Harold, this pitching change brought to you by Depends, the official undergarment of Ollie Marmol. So you can nap in confidence. Ooh, that is spicy, Harold. That is spicy. All right, we're back for the top of the 2nd inning. Bases loaded with 1 out. Here is Gordon Graceffo. He'll face Luis Arias. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. The one thing you could say about Luis Arias here in the 4-hole is he's a pretty darn good contact guy. If you got ducks on the pond, he ain't a bad guy to have up. Even though he's nothing approaching a power hitter, nobody would claim that he is. Gave you the numbers on Gordon Graceffa just a moment ago. So Graceffa is on to the bump. The lefty Arias is in. Once again, righty versus lefty matchup. Bases loaded, one out, top of the 7th inning. 4-2 Philadelphia, one already in. And the first pitch to Arias. A slider strike, inside corner thigh high. The count is 0-1. There is nowhere to put Arias. He's 0 for 3, but there's nowhere to put him. He comes set. The 0-1. Hit foul down the first base side. Now to play on the slider low. And the count is 0-2. The Yostinator is back, making a cameo. I wouldn't worry about it too much, my friend. The AL West is... There's time. Put it that way. The 0-2. Hit up the middle, picked up by Mason Wynn. He stepped on second one. On the first, a double play. A 6-3 double play off the bat of Luis Arias to end the inning. However, Philadelphia puts one across and they leave the bases loaded. It's 7th inning stretch time at Busch Stadium in downtown St. Louis on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. 4-2 Philadelphia going bottom of 7. Let's go back to that chat. Okay. Yep, Gordon came in and did his job, folks. Did his job. Now, who do you credit there? Do you credit Gordon or Ollie Marmol? I mean, the first... At the end of the day, it should always go to the pitcher. I'm being facetious. But it worked. He did it. Mason Wynn got that ball right to him, stepped on second, and that cannon to first, not a chance by Arias. However, Philadelphia does put one more across, which makes this a higher climb for St. Louis with that 4-2 lead. Now, they do have a brutal schedule, but you want to know what, Yostinator? Teams worth their while get through brutal schedules. And that's the story there. Due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the 7th inning is Fermin, Crooks, and Prieto. So 7, 8, 9 in the order. Bloop, bloop, blast. Well, that is certainly a blueprint, Justin. Let's get some runs. Cheers to that, David Hodge. All right, we are back here for the bottom of the 7th inning. 4-2 Phillies. Looks like Ron Hell is out there again. He's thrown 2/3 of an innings, given up a hit. And he's accumulated a couple of strikeouts. So far, Ron Hell has done his job. Now, here's Jose Fermin. Jose Fermin seems like he's a part of something in every game that turns into a victory. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch from Ron Hell. Strike. Four-seam fastball outer third below the belt. The count is 0-1. Oh, I'm glad you dig it, Jimmy Otero. The 0-1 pitch. A curveball and a big old Uncle Charlie strike. The count is 0-2. That thing had an arc on it. That's a big curveball. Just landed it perfectly on the outside corner, called strike. The 0-2 pitch. A changeup down and away. Taking it all the way is Fermin. The count is 1-2. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 7th inning. 4-2 Phillies. The 1-2 pitch. Hit to the left side and fouled down the third baseline on the changeup in. The count remains 1-2. Fermin gets back into the saddle. Ron Hell sets at the letters, and he deals. And Uncle Charlie just high. It's ruled a ball taken all the way there, and a gutsy take by Fermin, and the count is 2-2. Next pitch is going to be Ron Hell's 20th. He comes set. He deals. A changeup down and away and clear out of the zone. The count is 3-2. So full count here to Jose Fermin. He's 0 for 1. On decks is Jimmy Crooks, who's 0 for 2. 4-2 Philadelphia, bottom of the 7th. And the 3-2. Ball 4 on the changeup, down and away. So Jose Fermin works a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And Donnie Baseball there on the top step is flinching a little bit, twitching a little bit. He's clearly trying to make up his mind whether he wants to change the pitcher. However, Jimmy Crooks is stepping into the box. So it looks like they're going to hang with Ron Hell here with a runner on first, nobody out. Righty-lefty matchup. Crooks 0 for 2. The first pitch from Ron Hell. Swinging strike on the changeup, down and away. That was a nasty circle change down away from Crooks. He swings over the top of it. The count is 0-1. Time is granted by the home plate umpire at the best of Jimmy Crooks. 22 pitches here for Ron Hell. Jimmy's back into the saddle. Runner leads. Infield defense shaded towards right. Ron Hell sets and deals. Swinging strike on the changeup down Broadway, and the count is 0-2. So Crooks kind of pulled off on that pitch, which for all intents and purposes is probably the pitch you want to hit here, but that's not how it worked out. Ron Hell sets. The 0-2. There's a fly ball down the left side into foul territory. Underneath it is the third baseman. He makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So Jimmy Crooks fouls out into foul territory to the left of third for the first out. Now here is Cesar Prieto, the 9-hitter and third baseman tonight. So it'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Prieto is 0 for 2. Runner on first with 1 out. Bottom of the 7th inning, 4-2 Philadelphia. Ron Hell sets. First pitch to Prieto. A curveball well downstairs. The count is 1-0. We still have not gotten anything offensively from Prieto yet. No doubt Cesar wants to turn that around. Stoops sets up away. The 1-0, there goes the runner, and it's a hit and run, and it's a foul tip off the foot of Prieto. And the count is 1-1. That's the second time we've seen a distinct hit and run tonight that has been foiled on a foul ball off the lower extremities. So it's a 1-1 count. Fermin leads off first with 1 out. Ron Hell sets at the letters. Now the 1-1, there goes the runner. Throwing down there towards second is Stoops, and he is ruled safe at second, so a stolen base there for Jose Fermin. The pitch is ruled a ball. It's a 2-1 count. Head first slide. He beat the throw down there from Stoops. And a stolen base with 1 out by Jose Fermin. He got a decent jump. Let's see here on the replay. Yeah, he's safe. He's definitely safe. Now, he leads off second. It's a 2-1 count. The 2-1 pitch. Head out there into right field. Giving chase at the left fielder. And he makes a head-first diving catch. Throwing into second. Getting back there is Jose Fermin. Hill made a fantastic charge forward and to his left. Managed to get it on a bloop with a head-first catch. That looked for a moment like it was going to fall in, but Hill said no, sir. And that is the second out of the inning. And Prieto is obviously very disappointed. You can see it right there on his face. He did it. They caught it. So now a runner on second with 2 out. Now here's J.J. Weatherall. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. J.J. is 0 for 2. Next pitch is Ron Hell's 29th of the night. And the first pitch of J.J. Strike. 4-seam fastball outside corner below the belt. The count is 0-1. 150 likes. Thank you all so much. A strikeout and a foul out and a walk here for J.J. Weatherall tonight. Thank you guys so much. Stoops sets up away. The 0-1. And there's a fly ball, a lazy fly ball into center field. Underneath it is Crawford calling for it. Canacord makes the catch for the final out of the inning. No runs, no hits, 1 walk, 1 left on. After 7 full innings of play, it is 4-2 Philadelphia going to the top of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D. And if you're enjoying my call of Redbird action here on Game Mike tonight, and you haven't done so already, but you feel I've earned it, please do leave a like. Your likes are helping Bombers Game Mike out more than I can tell you. And I really appreciate it. And if it's your first time here or you've been back multiple times, whatever the case may be, if you're not subscribed and you dig it, then hit subscribe. Love to have you aboard. With that said, 4-2 Phillies going top of 8. Me here, you there, and this is Bombers Game Mike. Fiddlesticks indeed, Harold. Fiddlesticks indeed. Jose Fermin did his part. No surprise there. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Harold Houseman, Bombers Game Night with Big Paul D is where it's at. Thank you, Harold. Terry Hoggs, you're doing a great job. Well, thank you, Terry Hoggs. I really appreciate that. You guys know how seriously I take this, and I want to give you the best experience possible. And that is my aim. That is my goal. That is my sole mission here at Bombers Game Mike. So we await the top of the 8th inning. Due up for Philadelphia, Marsh, Hill, and Crawford. 5, 6, 7 in the Philly order. Hey, Max, you make it when you can make it. School is more important, no question. We are back here for the top of the 8th inning. The Phillies right there in that NL wildcard standings. Right there. Cardinals are 3.5 back. Here's the lefty Marsh. Graceffo back out there. Marsh is 1 for 3. Righty-lefty matchup. Setting up away is Crooks. The first pitch. He shows bunt, pulls back. The four-seam fastball up and away. It's ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Good evening, chat. Be sure to drop a like. Please subscribe as well. We're on the road to 1,400 subscribers. It really goes a long way to help the stream. Never miss a call again. Listen to Justin, the 1-0. A changeup upstairs. The count is 2-0. Ron, that makes my heart sing. Thank you. I'm really glad that it does. That everyone here, especially those who keep coming back, make this a little part of their day. Cummins set at the Birds. Graceffo, the 2-0. A four-seam fastball upstairs, and the count is 3-0. Okie Cam, it's not a frozen screen. This is audio only. I'm on the road, and when I'm on the road, it's audio only. When I'm back into the studio, I'll be back on camera. Now, the 3-0. Strike, four-seam fastball, outer third below the belt. The count is 3-1. Graceffo gets back into the bump. Marsh gets back into the saddle. He sets at the Birds. Now, the 3-1 pitch. Ball 4 on the curveball upstairs, so Marsh works a leadoff walk here at the top of the 8th. The Phillies have a runner on first, nobody out. And a 4-2 lead. Oh, absolutely, Ron. You are definitely an OG here on Game Mike. One of our first citizens, no doubt. Boss Boy, am I watching the real game or watching the play-by-play? I'm not entirely sure what you mean by that. Yeah, I'm watching the game in real time. It's all right in front of my face. Why would I do anything else? Righty-righty matchup. Here's Hill, who's 0 for 3. Here's the pitch. Swinging strike on the sinker up and in. The count is 0-1. Derek Hill reached on an E1. A couple strikeouts looking. He's 0 for 3. Righty-righty matchup. Gordon Graceffo sets. The 0-1 offering. A slider well upstairs. And the count's 1-1. Max, will I consider you an OG? You've actually asked me this question before, Max. And I'll give you the same answer that I did the last time. Absolutely yes. In fact, when you did join us, when you did ask, I said, well, everybody here is an OG at this point. Now the 1-1. Strike, four-seam fastball outer third below the belt. The count is 1-2 to Hill. But yes, Max, you are definitely an OG. You're part of the first citizens here, no doubt. Runner on first, nobody out. Top of the 8th inning, 4-2 Philadelphia. Hill is in the box with Graceffo on the bump. It's a 1-2 count. He sets at the Birds. Throwing over to first, back in time with the head first slide is Marsh. with that mountain man / philosopher beard. Oh, it's epic. You can't help but respect it. Nay, I say admire it. Back into the saddle is Hill. Graceffo sets at the Birds. Now the 1-2 offering. Hit out there into center field. Going back is Nate Church towards the Bet 365 side. Against the wall, makes the catch. Going back to first is Marsh. So a long fly out there, tracking it down, was Nate Church in center field on the track for the first out of the inning. That ball was hit a lot harder than it looked off the bat. It got a lot of airtime, but Nate Church tracked it down in right center field, almost against the wall in the Bet 365 advertisement. Now here is Justin Crawford, the spitting image of his amazing dad. Righty-lefty matchup, runner on first with 1 out. 4-2 Philadelphia, the first pitch. Hit to the right side and into right field for a base hit. Jordan Walker picks it out there outright. Coming around into third is Marsh, and Justin Crawford has himself a 1-out double, and the Phillies have runners on second and third with 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. That one just found a hole to the left of Burleson, I believe. Turned on it. Let's see. That was a slider down and in. And it got in that hole between Weatherhull and Burleson. Burleson was holding Marsh on at first, so he didn't have much of a shot at it. But all the credit to Justin Crawford. Spitting image of his old man. Now, the Cardinal defense is playing in up against the grass in case there's a ground ball right to him. Be able to cut Marsh down at home since there's no force at home. The first pitch to Sosa. A sinker low on the outer third ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Sosa has a single, a hit by pitch, and a strikeout swing, and he's 1 for 2. It's a righty-righty matchup. Runners lead off second and third with 1 out top of the 8th. Cummins sets Graceffo at the Birds. The 1-0 pitch. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball on the outside corner. The count is 1-1. What rights do the OGs get here? A great deal of recognition and my eternal gratitude, no doubt. The 1-1 pitch. A slider down and away and out of the zone. The count is 2-1. No, my eternal gratitude, my eternal thanks. At least for now. Don't take that one. Don't take that one to court. We'll see where things go. It's a 2-1 count. Graceffo sets at the Birds. The 2-1 to Sosa. There's a fly ball out into left center field, and it will fall in at the wall. Hits the base of the wall on the gray bar sign. Tossing it in there is Nate Church. Both runs will score, and that'll be a 1-out, 2 RBI double by Sosa. And the Philadelphia now has a 6-2 lead. Oh, he hit that entirely where nobody had a shot at that thing. That thing hit on the fly off the base of the wall below the gray bar advertisement in left center field. That looked like a slider that hung on the outside corner, and Sosa did it again. I believe that is his second and third RBIs of the night. And it's a 6-2 Philadelphia lead. Now the first pitch to Stubbs. He puts down the bunt. It goes foul. Rolls over to the Philly on deck circle. Counts 0-1. We get the right to enjoy the show. That's beautiful, Ron. Not being sarcastic. It's true. I'm being sincere. Now it's an 0-1 count. Runner leads off second. Couple already in. Stepping off the rubber there is Graceffo. One thing you have to say about these Philly bats in terms of their approach, they've been relentless all night. Now the 0-1 to Stubbs. Chop foul down the first base side and out of play on the changeup away. The count is 0-2. He really spoiled that thing. Relief pitching hurts us indeed, Brother Job. But even Hunter Dobbins, for as gritty a performance he put in, it was definitely not him at his best. Philadelphia is just a very tough team. They put good at-bats. They take the opportunities you give them. Cummins sets Graceffo. The 0-2. Foul tipped on the slider, down and in. Just gets the smaller piece of that one, does Stubbs, and the count remains 0-2. So Crawford leads off second with 1 out. 2 already in. It's a 6-2 Philly lead, top of the 8th. Graceffa sets at the Birds. Now the 0-2. Foul down the left field line and out of play of the four-seam fastball upstairs. 94 miles an hour. The count is 0-2. 21 pitches so far for Graceffa. He's kind of taking one for the team here at the moment. Yeah, he really is, C. John. He really is. Sosa leads off second. Come in set. Now the 0-2. Swing. Oh, he just got a piece of that. Saw the home plate umpire's arm flying up. I thought he swung over the top of that one. He just once again gets the smallest piece of it. The count remains 0-2. Looking in is Graceffa. Sosa leads off second. The 0-2 pitch. Hit to the left side, picked up by Prieto on a hop. He throws to first, gets there in time with a one-hop throw. And moving over to third on the play is Sosa, which I have to imagine, I have to tell you here, is some pretty darn good base running for a ground ball to the third baseman that was barely wide of third. Clearly, Prieto did not look him back, but they get the out at first. So Stubbs bounces out. 5-3 for the second out. Here's Kyle Schwarber. He's having himself a fair night. 2 for 2. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off third with 2 out. The pitch. A changeup called strike. Whispers over the black of the outside corner at the knees. The count is 0-1. 6-2 Philadelphia. They already have 2 in here in the top of the 8th inning. Graceffa comes set. The 0-1 pitch. Strike. Uncle Charlie whispers over the black of the inside corner at the knees. The count is 0-2. Schwarber was not enamored with that call, but I think he knows it in his heart it's a strike. Common set is Graceffa. Crook sets up inside. He deals. Foul tipped on the slider in. The count remains 0-2. So 1 strike away is Gordon Graceffa from shutting down this top of the 8th. The Phillies have done their damage here. They have themselves a 4-run lead, 6-2 here in the top of the 8th. Runner leads off third. Graceffa sets. The 0-2 pitch. A changeup down and away. Schwarber not even remotely tempted. The count is 1-2. Infield defense only slightly shaded towards right, but playing way back, almost against the outfield grass. Runner leads. The 1-2 pitch. There's a fly ball to right field, going back, looking up. And it's caught right at the base of the wall by Jordan Walker for the third and final out of the inning. However, the Phillies, they add 2 more and they leave 1 on. They have a 6-2 lead going to the bottom of the 8th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 6-2 Philadelphia going bottom of 8. Let's go back to the chat. Okay. Things have gotten a little quiet down here, guys. What's going on? Very tough team at the plate for sure. Yeah, Harold, there's no question. They've been working it all night. Off the bat there of Schwarber, it looked like it was going to go out. But I made one mistake that I don't often make because I once picked up an interesting piece of advice in an interview with the late, great Red Barber. And this is what he said. And it's been absolutely true. I've been following it forever, just not right there. He said, on a fly ball that might go out, do not track the ball with your eyes. Track the outfielders. The outfielders will know before anybody else. And may God rest his soul, he was right. And there you go. A grand slam and a home run. Yeah, that would definitely give a lead. So, due up for the Redbirds in the bottom of the 8th inning is Ivan Herrera, Alec Burleson, and Jordan Walker. Herrera, of course, is 1 for 3 with a run scored. Burleson, 1 for 2 with a couple of RBIs, a walk, and a strikeout. Jordan Walker, 0 for 3 with the hat trick on the strikeout. Will he get the golden sombrero? That's definitely not an outcome I'd want to call, but here we go. All right, here comes Ivan Herrera, 6-2 Phillies in the bottom of the 8th inning. Looks like Don Mattingly has made a defensive change. Alec Baum is at first base, so he's in for defensive purposes, so Schwarber's out of the game. Ron Hell is out there for his third frame. Now, it is a righty-righty matchup, 6-2 Phillies, bottom of the 8th. And the first pitch to Herrera, hit down the left field line, and it's fair into the corner for a leadoff base hit. Coming around first into second is Herrera, and he has himself a leadoff double here in the bottom of the 8th inning. On the very first pitch from Ron Hell, which was actually Ron Hell's 31st of the night, I'm curious to see what Don Mattingly chooses to do here, considering now he's getting the middle of that order. It looked like it was either a four-seamer or a sinker, but it was up on the outside corner about thigh high, and he just steered that thing fair down the left field line, and then it went rolling around in the corner. So a runner on second, nobody out, following the leadoff double by Ivan Herrera to left. Now here is Alec Burleson, a walk, a strikeout, swinging, and a 2 RBI single. Righty-lefty matchup. Runner leads off second, the first pitch. A changeup downstairs ruled a ball. The count is 1-0. Jordan Walker is on deck. Well, Alan Hall, I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, definitely. Now the 1-0. Hit to the right side and into right field for a base hit. It goes into the corner. It moved out there by the right fielder. Coming around second, going to second is Alec Burleson, and he has himself an RBI double, and that will cut it down to a 6-3 Philly lead on the RBI double by Alec Burleson to right, scoring Ivan Herrera. And Hill out there, when he was trying to track it down off the ground, he tried to snow cone it right off the ground as it was rolling along. Didn't stay in his glove. Gave a perfect opportunity from Burleson to come around first and go to second easily. So it's a 6-3 game. The pitching coach is out there to talk with Ron Hell. So a pair of doubles to lead it off here for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 8th inning. It is a 6-3 Philly lead. Coming up is Jordan Alexander Walker. Nate Church is on deck. So there's a big old meeting on the mound. I'm fairly sure this one couldn't have been an email. Ron Hell, it looks like he's staying out there, at least for now. 33 pitches here so far. These first two batters have been all over him like a crow on curly fries. Now here's Jordan Walker. It's a righty-righty matchup. Burleson leads off second, one already in for the Cardinals. It's a 6-3 game. The first pitch to Walker. Strike, slider on the outer third at the knees. The count is 0-1. That came in at 87 miles per hour. Jordan Walker, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. He has the hat trick. He does not want the golden sombrero. Walker's back into the saddle. Coming set is Ron Hell. The 0-1 pitch. Swinging strike on the slider away, and the count is 0-2. That was a bad swing. That slider was easily 3 inches off the plate. He is absolutely pressing in this situation. That's what it says to me. It's an 0-2 count. Let's see if we can turn it around. The 0-2 pitch. Hit on up the middle and into center field for a base hit. Picked up out there by Jordan Crawford. Staying right there at third is Alec Burleson. So a single to center for Jordan Walker, and the Redbirds have runners at the corner with nobody out. Here in the bottom of the 8th inning, here comes Nate Church. So Jordan Walker gets out of the funk there from those first 3 at-bats of the night. It looked to be a four-seam fastball up and away. He just went right back up the middle, which is interesting. It was to the left of second. Sosa had no ability there in the shift to actually get to that. Neither did Arias, just to the right of second. So here is Nate Church. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Runners at the corner with nobody out. One already in. It's a 6-3 Philadelphia lead here in the bottom of the 8th. Ron Hell sets at the letters. Righty-lefty matchup. Stoops sets up away. The first pitch to Church. A changeup upstairs. It is a ball. The count is 1-0. Nate Church, a ground out, a foul out, and a single. He is 1 for 3. 37 pitches here for Ron Hell. He sets at the letters. The pitch. And there is a pop-up sky high just behind the shortstop position. Underneath it is Sosa for the first out of the inning. So Nate Church pops out there for the first out. Pops out 6, I believe. And here comes Mason Wynn. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. The right-hand hitting shortstop for St. Louis. He's popped out, and he has a couple of strikeouts hacking. You know he wants to turn his night around. Infield defense very much shaded towards left, with the exception of the first baseman holding on Jordan Walker. Ron Hell sets. Stoops sets up away. The first pitch. Swinging strike on the four-seam fastball right down Broadway. Swinging underneath that one was Wynn. The count is 0-1. What do we like? The character and the never say die attitude. What do we dislike? The bullpen, the bullpen, the bullpen, Alan. The bullpen. I don't know if I made that clear enough. But no, this has been a wonderful team. Ron Hell sets the 0-1 pitch. Strike slider, a very generous call on the outside corner up. The count is 0-2. We shall see, John. Runners at the corner with 1 out. It's an 0-2 count here to Mason Wynn. Ron Hell sets at the letters. Steps off the rubber. So we get to wait a little longer. The suspense is killing us. 40 pitches here for Ron Hell. Runners lead off first and third with 1 out. 1 already in. It's a 6-3 Philadelphia lead. Ron Hell sets. Soup sets up down and away. The 0-2. Hit on up the middle. It deflects off the foot of on Hell of the pitcher. And it goes into right field. Scoring is Alec Burleson. Going into second is Mason Wynn with the head first slide. It gets away from Sosa on the third and second. Coming home is Jordan Walker. And that is a 2 RBI. Oh, correction. It is a 1 RBI double for Mason Wynn. And that will cut it down to a 6-4 Phillies lead. Oh, goodness. Okay, so this is what happened here, folks. He hit it right back up the middle. It deflected off of Ron Hell's foot, and it went right into right field. Right into right field. Hill had to come in. Going to second was Mason Wynn. Had Sosa been able to hold on to it, he would have been out there, but it got away from him. And I thought when it did that Jordan Walker would end up going that extra 90 feet. Pop Warner says, no, sir. And that is an RBI double. It is a 6-4 game. Runners on second and third with 1 out. Here's Jose Fermin, 0-for-1. Righty-righty matchup. The first pitch. A slider down and away. Did check a swing. Yes, says Blue down the first baseline. The count is 0-1. .42 pitches for Ron Hell. Runners lead off second and third. Tying run is at second. The 1-0. Chop foul down the third base side. Now to play on the changeup. The count is 1-1. Yeah, that was something, see, John. I'll tell you that much. Perhaps so, Eric. Perhaps so. Ron Hell comes set. The 1-1 to Fermin. Hit out there into center field and in for a base hit. Scoring easily from third is Jordan Walker. Here comes the throw into home. It is cut off, and that will make it a 6-5 Cardinal lead on the RBI single to center by Jose Fermin, and that'll cut it down to a 6-5 Philly lead. They now have runners on the corners with one out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. It is a 6-5 Philly lead. And this was on that big curveball, but it hung up on the outer third about knee high, and he just deposited it into center field. Justin Crawford could only play it on a hop. He threw home, so he kept Wynn there at third, who represents the tying run, which is now 90 feet away. 90 feet away. He could score on a pass ball or a wild pitch. Now here is Jimmy Crooks, the left-hand hitting catcher, with runners at the corners and one out. 3 already in here for the Cardinals in the bottom of the 8th inning. It's a 6-5 Philly lead. Rangel comes set. Righty-lefty matchup. The first pitch. Strike. Four-seam fastball down Broadway. The count is 0-1. This has been quite an inning to watch, folks. Infield defense only slightly shaded towards right. The 0-1. Swinging strike on the changeup, up and away. Swinging through that one was Jimmy Crooks. The count is 0-2. Harold Houseman with the $2 super. 1 run, please. Gotta talk to Jimmy Crooks about that right now, Harold. Rangel comes set. Runners lead off first and third with one out. The 0-2 pitch. A changeup well upstairs and nowhere near the zone. The count is 1-2. Fermin leads off first. Wynn leads off third. There is one out here in the bottom of the 8th. 6-5 Philadelphia. The 1-2 pitch. Hit foul. Just got a piece of that changeup up and away. Went down the left side. The count remains 1-2. Next pitch is going to be Rangel's 49th. He is absolutely coated in his own sweat. Infield defense just slightly shaded towards right in a modified double play depth with less than 2 out. He comes set. Now the 1-2 pitch. Hit foul right behind home plate. Just missing that one was Jimmy Crooks on the four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 1-2. Just got a piece of that cheddar there from Rangel. That's a really good question, Justin. I've been thinking about that all along. Here comes number 50 for Rangel. Back in the saddle is Jimmy Crooks. Runners lead off the quarters with one out. Coming sets Rangel. Throwing over to first. Back in time with the head first slide is Fermin, so we wait a little longer for this 1-2 delivery. Back in the saddle is Crooks. Back onto the bump is Rangel. It's a 1-2 count. Runners at the corner with one out. The pitch. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup upstairs. Taking second on the strikeout swinging is Jose Fermin. It's not defensive indifference in a 1-run game. So there are now runners on second and third with 2 out. And this is what I've been talking about in terms of smart and aggressive base running that has very much improved for these Cardinals over the last 2 weeks. That was it right there by Jose Fermin. The second one he's had tonight. Now we have ourselves a pinch hitter here for Cesar Prieto by way of Brian Torres, the 29-year-old rookie. 11 years in the minors and the Atlantic League independent baseball before getting signed this year. There are runners on second and third with 2 out, bottom of the 8th. 3 already in for the Cardinals. The Phillies have a 6-5 lead. There was a brief meeting out on the mound with Rangel, but Donnie Baseball is staying with him. So here's Brian Torres, 225, 4 home runs, 14 RBIs, 7 extra base hits this year. Runners lead off second and third. It's a righty-lefty matchup. 2 out, 6-5 Philadelphia. The first pitch to Torres. A change-up strike. Challenged immediately there by Torres, and it's a very good ABS challenge on his part. ABS challenge incoming, the last one remaining to the Cardinals. Oh, and it missed by a mile, folks. And it's overturned. Originally called a strike. It misses by 1 inches above the zone. It's a 1-0 count. The Cardinals retain their ABS challenge. Philadelphia has won themselves. It's a 1-0 count. He comes set. The 1-0 pitch. Nub foul rolls over there towards the Philly on deck circle on the changeup upstairs. The count is 1-1. Looking in is Ron Hell. Torres in here for Cesar Prieto. Tying run is 90 feet away. He sets. The pitch. A four-seam fastball away ruled a ball. 94 miles an hour. The count is 2-1. Infield defense very much shaded towards right, playing all the way back with the exception of the third baseman who's up against the grass. The 2-1. Swinging strike on the changeup upstairs, and the count is even at 2-2 to Brian Torres. So Torres has to protect on anything close here. Tying run is 90 feet away. Ron Hell sets at the letters. The 2-2. There's a fly ball into center field. Coming in is Justin Crawford. He makes the catch on the run for the third and final out of the inning. However, the Cardinals, they put up 3 more. They cut it down to a 6-5 Philly lead, but they leave 2 runners in scoring position. We go to the top of the 9th inning. 6-5 Philadelphia here in game 1 of 3 in this midweek set at Busch. Down in downtown St. Louis at Busch Stadium on the western banks of the mighty Mississippi. I'm Paul D. And this is Bombers Game Mike. 6-5 Philadelphia going top of 9. Let's go back to the chat. Let's win this in the 9th. Krapinski. Indeed. Kokoda. Let's go Cardinals. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Well, that was quite an inning, was it not, folks? They are keeping the pressure on. Now, it's entirely requisite for the bullpen to keep the Phillies exactly where they are. Still showing Graceffo in the game. Graceffo has thrown 28 pitches so far. 20 of them have been strikes. So there you are. That's the situation. That's the storyline, Happy Hodag. That is the storyline. So we await the top of the 9th inning. Due up for the Phillies in the top of the 9th inning. Stott, Harper, and Arias. 2, 3, and 4 in the Philadelphia order. I mean, he does play, albeit in a very limited capacity. So we await the top of the 9th, folks. And we're gone to the left-hander. It looks like it's Justin Brule. Indeed it is, to the lefty Stott. Lefty-lefty matchup, the first pitch. A sweeper well in and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. In 52 games, 57 in the third innings pitch. A 3.45 ERA and a whip of 1.34 for Brule. He has a 0-0 record, interestingly enough. He sets the 1-0. Strike, sinker down Broadway. The count is 1-1. So it's a pitching change, folks. Here's Justin Brule, just in case you missed it. 6-5 Philadelphia, top of 9. Now the 1-1 offering. Hit to the left side and through the hole into left field for a base hit. And so Stott has himself a leadoff single to left, and the Phillies have a runner on first with nobody out here in the top of the 9th inning. Now let's see how he did it here. It looked like it was probably on a sweeper that pretty much stayed in the middle of the plate. A sweeper that did not do its job sweeping. Stott just went the other way. Now here is Bryce Harper, who's 0 for 2. It's also a lefty-lefty matchup. Runner on first, nobody out. The pitch. A sinker inside and out of the zone. The count is 1-0. A walk, a strikeout, ground out into a double play, and a walk for Harper. The 1-0 pitch. Strike, sweeper on the outer third, thigh high. The count is 1-1. Brule sets above the belt. Jimmy Crook sets up away. Throwing over to first. It wasn't even close. Stopped taking less than a 0 lead. So Harper gets back in the saddle. Infield defense shaded towards right in that modified double play dip with less than 2 out. Brule comes set. The 1-1. Hit down the left field line and into the stands on the sinker in. The count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Runner leads off first. It's a 6-5 Philadelphia lead here in the top of the 9th. Brule looks in, comes set above the belt. Crook setting up way away. The 1-2. And there's a pop-up into shallow left field. Underneath it, he makes the catch. Does Fermin for the first out of the inning. Stott staying right there at first. So, Bryce Harper either pops out or flies out, depending on how they score it, for the first out of the inning. Now here's Luis Arias, lined into a double play, a foul out, and a ground out into a double play. He's 0 for 4, and it's a lefty-lefty matchup. Stott leads off first with 1 out. Top of the 9th, 6-5 Philadelphia. The first pitch from Brule. A sinker upstairs, and the count is 1-0. Arias gets back into the box. Runner leads off first. It's a 1-0 count. Brule sets above the belt. The 1-0 pitch. There goes the runner. It's hit to the left side. Fermin picks it up on a hop. He throws to first to get Arias for the second out. So it appeared to be a hit and run on there by Don Mattingly. It made sure that there was no double play by sending Stott with the pitch. So they managed to keep themselves out of an inning-ending double play, and now they have a runner on second with 2 out here in the top of the 9th. Here comes Brandon Marsh with that prodigious beard. And dare I say, dreadlocks. Marsh is 1 for 3. Another lefty versus lefty matchup. Brule sets above the belt. Stott leads off second, the first pitch. Strike, sinker down Broadway at the knees. The count is 0-1. Spidey Parker. Jeez, I wonder what franchise you're a fan of. Good to have you here. Stott leads off second. Now the 0-1. Strike, sinker on the outer third at the knees. The count is 0-2 to Brandon Marsh. So Brule, 1 strike away from sending this to the bottom of the 9th and a 1-run Philly lead. Runner leads off second. Brule sets. Now the 0-2. Hit down the left field line and going foul. Can't get to it, does Fermin. It basically bounces at the base of the wall right there on the inlet in foul territory on the third base side. He had no chance. Brule takes a good heap and a rosin there as he gets back into the bump. Marsh is back into the saddle. Infield defense very much shaded towards right with the lefty Marsh. Brule comes set above the belt. And the 0-2 pitch. Check swing on the sweeper away. He held it, and the count is 1-2. Brule looks into Jimmy Crooks. Marsh is in the box. Stott's leading off second. There's 2 out. It's a 1-2 count. Cummins sets Brule. The 1-2. Swinging, strike 3. Down, flailing. He goes for the third and final out of the inning. So, no runs, 1 hit, no walks, 1 left on. After 8.5 innings of play, it is 6-5 Philadelphia going to the bottom of the 9th inning. I'm Paul D, and this is Bombers Game Mike. 6-5 Philadelphia going bottom of 9. Let's go back to that chat. Okay. So, here we are. Due up in the bottom of the ninth inning. Weatherholt, Herrera, Burleson. 1, 2, 3. That's the story there. The tension is palpable in the room here tonight, just as it is at Busch Stadium. I would imagine this has been a very good game. And I gotta say, it's actually been a pretty long one, all told. Weatherholt, Herrera, and Burleson. Well, if Donnie Baseball is going to the pen for this one, it has not yet shown up exactly who that is yet. I'm virtually certain he would. Cat Snow, hit the like. Thank you, Cat. So, we are waiting around here for the bottom of the ninth. 6-5 Philadelphia. The Cardinals made it a lot closer back in the bottom of the ninth, putting up a 3 spot, putting the tie and run 90 feet away in Mason Wynn. They could not get the job done there. And indeed, he's going to the 29-year-old right-hander, Jonathan Bowlen. 44 games, a 2-1 record, a 2.81 ERA, 41 2/3 innings pitched, 52 strikeouts in that span, and a whip of 0.96. No saves in 3 opportunities for Jonathan Bowlen. And we are here. It's a righty-lefty matchup. Here's J.J. Weatherholt. Here's the first pitch. A four-seam fastball up and in, ruled the ball, 96 miles an hour. The count is 1-0. J.J. is 0 for 3 tonight. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the ninth inning. 6-5 Philadelphia. A strikeout, a foul out, and a walk and a foul out for J.J. tonight. The 1-0 pitch. A changeup away, ruled the ball, 90 miles an hour. The count is 2-0. JJ's back into the saddle. Bowlen comes set at the letters. The 2-0. Fouled back on the four-seam fastball upstairs. The count is 2-1. The Cardinals need one thing here. Ultimately, base runners. Infield defense heavily shaded towards right. Bowlen sets. The 2-1 pitch. Called strike. Challenged immediately there by Weatherholt, but I think it is a strike. It was a slider on the outside corner below the belt. It was up in the zone, but I think it was a strike. Indeed, it is a strike. So, J.J. Weatherholt loses his challenge, just clips the zone. The call is confirmed a strike, and the count is 2-2. Bowlen looks into Stube. He comes set. The 2-2. Swinging strike 3 on the changeup, down and in. Swinging over the top of that one was Weatherholt for the first out of the inning. So Bowlen manages to fight his way back in that at-bat. Down hacking goes JJ. He doesn't strike out much, but he did there. So nobody on with 1 out, bottom of the ninth inning, 6-5 Philadelphia. Here is Ivan Herrera. It'll be a righty-righty matchup. He's 2 for 4. He's had quite a night. Bowlen sets. The first pitch to Herrera. Strike, four-seam fastball, outer third above the knees. The count is 0-1. A foul out, a ground out, a double, and a double for Ivan. On deck is Burleson. Stube sets up inside. The 0-1. Chop foul rolls over towards the Philly on deck circle on the sinker in. The count is 0-2. So Bowlen takes a very deep breath on the mound as he gets back onto the rubber. Looks into Stubes. Herrera is back into the saddle. He comes set at the letters. Now the 0-2. A four-seam fastball well up and away and out of the zone. The count is 1-2. Thank you so much, Jimmy. I'm glad to hear it. Now Bowlen sets the 1-2 pitch. Popped him straight up out there into center field. Calling for it is Justin Crawford, camped underneath it. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So the Cardinals are down to their final out. They are down by 1. It's a 6-5 Philadelphia lead. And here comes Alec Burleson, who's also had a very good night. It'll be a righty-lefty matchup. Now, naturally, the idea here, everybody in the room knows it, is that he connects one to tie the game. A walk, a strikeout, a single, and a double for Alec. Nobody on with 2 out, bottom of the ninth, 6-5 Philadelphia. The first pitch, hit out there into right field. Going back is the right fielder, Hill. He makes the catch in front of the track for the third and final inning, and that is your final. 6-5 Philadelphia here in the opening game at 3 down at Busch this week. They come away from game 1. The Cardinals gave a run for their money, but they just couldn't get it over the top of the hill. So I'd like to thank you all so much for spending part of your Monday night here with me. 6-5 Philadelphia is your final. The Cardinals rallied. They never gave up, but they couldn't quite get it over that hill tonight. Andrew Painter improves to 2-8. Hunter Dobbins, he falls to 2-3. Bowlen, his first save in 4 opportunities this year. The Cardinals fall to 59-60. They are now 1 game under 500. Philadelphia improves to 64-56 as they fight in that NL wildcard spot race. Thank you all so much for spending part of your Monday night with me here on Game Mike. It was a classic, it was a thriller, but tonight it was just not the Cardinals' night. And while it is unfortunate, them's the break sometimes. I'll be back here for tomorrow night's game. It's at 6:45 p.m. Central Time for first pitch at Busch Stadium. I'll be live here with the play-by-play live stream on Game Mike at 6:35 p.m. Central Time. So once again, scheduled first pitch from Busch Stadium for Game 2 tomorrow night. I believe that is Palante v. Sanchez. That'll be quite a show, to say the least. It will be going for a first pitch at 6:45 p.m. Central Time. I'll be live here on Game Mike with the play-by-play live stream here at 6:35 p.m. Central Time. I hope to see you all there. Thurman, thanks, Paul. Another good call. Well, thank you, Thurman. I hope you and the wife are doing well out there. Cat Snow, well, there's always tomorrow. Thanks, Paul and JB. Good night, everybody. You be well, Cat Snow. Justin Beasley doing Justin Beasley things. Have a fantastic rest of your night, chat. What a fun game. See you all tomorrow night. It's true enough. Roger Bassman on the surface of the sun. Great game, Paul D. See you, chat, tomorrow. Good night, y'all. You be well. Be well, Harold. Be well, David. Good night, Sam Foreman. Good night, Derek White. Good night, ZZ Captain Mastiff. Good night, John Boy. This has been a presentation of Bombers Game Mike. 6-5 Philadelphia is your final in Game 1. Bombers Game Mike over and out. Be well, both you and yours, wherever you may be. Thank you all so much. And have a wonderful night. I'll see you tomorrow night, y'all. Be well.